on.
That's Fox's Bill Malugin near the Trump estate in West Palm Beach, Florida. The president-elect just posted on Truth Social about his defense secretary nominee, writing Pete Hegseth is doing very well, that his support is strong and deep, much more so than the fake news would have you believe. Amid sexual misconduct and other allegations, Hegseth calls an attempted media takedown.
I'm a different man than I was years ago, and that's a redemption story that I think a lot of Americans appreciate.
Now, the president-elect has also nominated Rodney Scott, a critic of Biden border policies, to be Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection ahead of mass deportations of illegal immigrants. Melania Trump, who will be the first lady again, just told Fox she's also getting her team ready.
I'm establishing everything what it needs so we could start on day one. Everybody's in and we start working.
It's day 3 of the New York City manhunt for the masked gunman who murdered United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson.
The NYPD is continuing to look at security camera footage. Pictures have been circulating of someone wearing a jacket while unmasked in the lobby of a hostel, and police say this is a person of interest in the shooting.
That's Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Accepting his fate, a clear radar, sunny and 17 degrees downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. A stay of execution has been denied for Joseph Corcoran. He's the man on death row for killing 4 people in Fort Wayne back in 1997. The stay was denied after Corcoran sent a letter to the Indiana Supreme Court saying that he does not want to appeal his death sentence any longer. His execution will be carried out December 18th. State troopers found nearly 7 pounds of cocaine in someone's car Wednesday. Harrison Silcox.
It all started after that trooper pulled over a BMW SUV driving eastbound on US 30 that afternoon.
For whatever reason, he had suspicions that there could be something else going on. So I requested a canine, and luckily there was one that was close by.
State Police Sergeant Ted Bonner says it turns out there was good reason to call in the dog. The canine sniffed out cocaine, and officers also found about $3,000. Jarvis Buchanan was ID'd as the driver and put in handcuffs. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Closing arguments and jury deliberations likely to begin today in the manslaughter case against 2 IMPD police officers. Both were involved in the death of Herman Whitfield III, who died in 2022 while being restrained by the cops during a mental health crisis. Bars and restaurants throughout the city are ready to serve roughly 70,000 football fans this weekend. They're here for the Big Ten championship game at Lucas Oil Stadium between Oregon and Penn State. Slippery Noodle co-owner Sean Lothridge says that they're ready for the influx.
So typically on a cold Sunday, we'll run about 1,500 people through the door here, so probably around that level. So we expect this to be like a really busy Colts game.
Talking to Wish TV, economists predict an economic impact of around $20 million. Things could have gone a lot better in State College last night for the Purdue Boilermakers. They lost 81-70 to Penn State, committing 24 turnovers. Head coach Matt Painter.
You got to show up and play. You got to be able to take care of the basketball. If you look at the shooting numbers, we just didn't have enough opportunities when you have 24 turnovers.
The Boilers have another Big Ten opponent Sunday. They take on Maryland. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Yeah, Kurt, west side southbound 465 at Crawfordsville Road. It is a crash blocking the right shoulder. A little bit of slowdown coming out the north split on northbound 65 to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Check Allstate first for, quote, today you're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Looking for the hottest trends in jewelry this year? Come to Pierce Jewelers and see their Love to Love collection in lab-grown diamond jewelry. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
This hour powered by bwindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Mostly sunny skies, quiet, but still chilly. Today's high 31. We are partly cloudy and chilly overnight. A low down to 20. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
Nothing on radar, 17 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
What? Yeah. Wait. Just wait, Casey.
Okay, what's going
Calm down.
What's going on?
We'll get to all the stuff you got on the template. We'll get to the big drama yesterday on Capitol Hill. We'll get to the stuff with Trump and the pharma people. Calm down. We'll get to it.
Okay, you know I work very hard on the template.
Well, I know.
And we are going to tell the story about how you completely hazed me 2 years ago next week regarding the template. That's a good one. You need to stick around for that.
We'll get to all of that in just a second. There's so much stuff going on in the world. We'll get to that. But we have something very important we have to discuss first and foremost and just get it out there and get a definitive answer on this.
Oh, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Well, we've got to discuss how there is basically a free opportunity for Kevin to meet his future wife right in front of him. It will only cost him $12, and he's on the fence about whether he's going to take it.
That is very important. We do need to discuss this. Kevin, what's going on? You going to go?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I care a lot about the game, so yeah, maybe I will go.
The NCAA championship is right down the road from us.
You talking about the Big Ten game?
The Big Ten championship game between Oregon and Penn State.
Yeah,
it's at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Correct.
And tickets, because it's two schools that are nowhere near Indianapolis, Indiana, are still readily available. Talking about you and your husband may go.
Yeah.
And I've been telling Kevin for several days now that for $12, as a single man still in his 20s, he absolutely has to go to this game because the odds of meeting or running into or simply seeing very well-assembled college women in their 20s who are looking for professional people whose futures are on the rise, like a Kevin, your opportunities there, and you're only in $12.
Yeah, exactly. Kevin, are you afraid to go alone? I mean, I know it's a big crowd because you're more than welcome to join.
What is he, Macaulay Culkin?
You can join the dude and I. I'll be your wingman.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'm usually not afraid to go places alone, but yeah, maybe I will meet up with you and the dude, and we can have some beers.
You'll be his wingman. How is that going to help him meet college girls,
I don't know. I'll be like the older sister figure.
No, I think the dude needs to be my wingman. He would actually be a good one, I think.
That would probably work out better for you, actually. So I'm going alone. We've just determined.
Yeah, you're on your own.
So this is what I told Kevin. This is a good strategy on my part, right? Because you've got, let's just say, there's 50,000 people there. Maybe it's 55. I don't know what the number is going to be. Clearly, they are having trouble getting rid of it.
I think the news just said they're expecting 60.
Okay, but there's still tickets available. And in a weird way, you're not going for the game. So it doesn't matter whether you buy a ticket in the top row or you buy a ticket in the third row.
You're just milling around the concourse.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is like, I mean, the odds, the investment for the opportunity, right? That is how you play the market.
That is a good ROI, isn't it?
Investment versus opportunity. Your investment versus opportunity in this is off the charts. You have to do this. You can park here. You don't even have to pay to park. You
because it's at Lucas Oil, right?
And then, here's the thing, Kevin. Here's the thing. Let's say you do meet someone. What do you do for a living? I'm the producer for the #1 rated radio show in all of Central Indiana.
Yeah.
If that person is not throwing their underwear at you in the moment, then you can say, and you know what? I just happened to park at the radio station. Would you like to see
There's
the
a
#1
great view from the balcony of the Christmas tree on the monument?
Look at all the things at your disposal. Why are we doing this for you? Why are we having to plan this out for you?
I could show them my office, but really I'll just be showing them your office.
Why do you have a baby everywhere?
Right. Who's this brunette? Well, maybe not do that. Okay.
Yeah, maybe
I think
not.
it's a good plan. I
Okay.
think you're onto something, Rob Kendall.
Now we can get to all the news, but this has been, as Jen Psaki would say, this has been, cringe on Pierre. Who was the top of mind person?
That was Jen Psaki.
That was Jen Psaki. It has been
Yeah.
top of mind for me for the past several days, and I wanted to just lay that out there on public airwaves that our audience needs to encourage Kevin to go to that game on Saturday night.
Maybe it was Karine Jean-Pierre. It was
I think
one.
it
was one of them.
Jen Psaki's not that stupid.
It was one of them when Jackie Walorski passed away.
That's right.
And Joe Biden had been looking for her, and she
was
said,
Karine
"Well,
Jean-Pierre.
you're top of mind." Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
There
It
we
was
go.
Karine Jean-Pierre.
Yeah, very good.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC. So Donald Trump hosted the chief executives of Pfizer, Eli Lilly, and also Pharma Wednesday night at Mar-a-Lago. They discussed how the public and private sectors can collaborate on finding cures for cancer. Isn't this something that Joe Biden said he was going to do?
He did say, well, in fairness, he still has about a month left.
Oh.
A month and a week or a month and 2 weeks.
Uh-huh.
It's not over yet.
Okay.
I mean, it's the equivalent of, let's say you took the over in a ball game and it was 50 and you're at 20 to start the fourth quarter. Okay. There's zero chance it's going to happen, but technically it hasn't happened yet, so we can't say that he failed until the end of his term. So we've still got basically a month and a half before we can say. But let's face it, that was one of just numerous ridiculous
promises,
lies that he told.
Yeah.
That there was no chance of him doing. And look, I'm not a. Here's the problem with, there's many problems with medicine in this country. I'm not a person who believes in restricting what people make. If you're making it legally, I'm a capitalist. However, when you have government interference in the free market, which we have immense government interference as it relates to medicine and drugs and things getting to market and how much people can charge for things and how competition works, then we got an issue here. And the reality is you have many pharmaceutical companies. Well, I don't doubt they have helped people. I don't doubt that they have saved lives. But let's face it, they're not there to run a soup kitchen. What do you think the market cap of Eli Lilly is right now? Let's look it up. Price is Right rules, you go over, you lose. Kev, what do you got for the market cap of Eli Lilly? That's the total value of Eli Lilly.
$7 billion.
$7 billion. What are you at?
Yeah, I think it's pretty high. That's an international. That's a global company.
Yeah.
So let's go with 10.
The current market cap of Eli Lilly is $783.77 billion.
Wow. We were both way under.
off.
Do you think those people are actually they're first and foremost interested in helping you? No, they're making money. Now, do they help people? No doubt there are things
Absolutely.
out there. And Pfizer, let's see what the market cap of Pfizer is, shall we? Let's see. What,
I'm gonna say it's less.
Yes, it's dramatically. Eli Lilly is one of the most is arguably the richest company in the entire world. 145.64 billion.
Wow.
So these people are making money inside a system that is set up and rigged by the government in large part for them to be able to make money. And one of the things that I am hoping that RFK Jr. and Donald Trump can do is open the doors of competition to make these drugs, these things more readily available. And then that will spur these large companies who don't have to do this because of the competition has been stymied against what they're doing to have to make their stuff more readily available and, more importantly, more affordable.
Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation about how Trump's team is going to engage with the industry. And at that dinner, Robert Kennedy Jr. was there, and drug makers, their stock prices fell when his nomination was originally announced, and now he's showing up in these meetings. So we'll see what happens. Susie Wiles, Trump's incoming chief of staff, was also at the dinner. But the drug makers, they're going to be facing some challenges. They've got new laws that they're contending with, which is allowing Medicare to negotiate some drug prices. A lot of tough rhetoric, not only from Trump, but also from RFK Jr. So hopefully they'll make some inroads for everybody.
Yeah, but like if you look at Eli Lilly's stock price, it's $825.62 a share. It's up $49.24 over the past month. So it's not like Trump's election these people are not going to be, in line at our Salvation Army event, next week, right? I mean, the reality is one of the things that Trump through Kennedy ran on that is true is we have a society. We have corporations that are invested in unhealthy people in our society.
Absolutely.
And one of the major issues is good food is not affordable. So I went to Costco yesterday. I had to get diapers and wipes. By the way, those wipes you gave me lasted all this time.
Did you finally run out?
I finally ran out.
Oh, wow.
Casey's, and I know I get to break here, but Casey's husband had purchased these
He made
wipes.
an accidental purchase.
They didn't do the thing that he wanted them to do, so they gave them to me.
Yeah.
And that box lasted, well, that was months and months and
Good.
months and months. But I bought 4 steaks. Now, these are not, the like in the Great Outdoors with John Candy here. We're talking about reasonably sized New York strip steaks. This is not prime rib. It's, and it was like $46, and this is Costco, for 4 steaks. Well, that's whatever that is, $11.50 a piece. Now, I can afford that, and I'll primarily eat most of these by myself, so it'll be my lunch and my dinner, and that'll be the cost because I won't eat
high protein, good for
won't
you.
eat anything with it. But a lot of people cannot afford that.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people cannot afford good food in this country, and thus they eat complete crap, and then they get sick, and then these drug manufacturers give, right? Here's the magic pill, the magic potion, the magic cure, right? The best thing to do is to preemptively take care of yourself.
Bananas are relatively inexpensive. It's one of the cheaper fruits you can buy. And I saw a woman who was checking out, and bananas are priced many times on weight.
Yeah.
She was peeling the banana.
I did see that.
Putting it in a bag.
Brilliant.
And then having the cashier.
Can you do that? Is that legal?
Apparently.
I mean, what are they going to do after you've done it?
Yeah, it's already happened. So I thought it was actually a brilliant idea.
Well,
she better get him in the freezer quick, though.
How much are you really saving?
Yeah, well, every penny counts, Rob. Yeah. Okay, so there was a bipartisan task force that was investigating the assassination attempts against Donald Trump. It turned into a shouting match on Capitol Hill, and also the Call Her Daddy podcast made an interesting revelation. We'll get to those things coming up from 93 WIBC.
Throws it up and in, and a foul. For a 3, yes. And a Bacco.
Mike Woodson has an exciting roster of veterans, transfers, and freshmen.
Dribbles it once, twice, still battling.
Miami of Ohio makes the trip to Bloomington tonight.
Throws it up, goal!
John Herrick with the pregame at 6. Don Fisher has the tip at 7 on your home for IU basketball. 93 WIBC.
According to CBS News, the average American loses out on an average of $182,000 in Social Security income, and it's because they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
This free analysis could help you get the most income from Social Security while considering the impacts on your spousal benefits, taxes, IRA and 401k withdrawals, and Medicare premiums. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. Don't lose $182,000 in Social Security income. That money's rightfully yours. Call Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
Hey, Mark Dietel is the only real estate expert I trust and recommend with the sale of my home. And how about Ray in Indianapolis? Ray needed to move in a hurry, so he was out the door into a new house, but left with the big problem of selling his old house with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. Heard about Mark Dietel on our show, and he was the answer. He was ecstatic when Mark sold his home for the price they needed in just 2 days on the market.
Mark Dietel is the best, and what separates him from the competition is the guarantee. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietel guarantee. You pick your move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietel today, 755-4232. That's 317-755-4232, or go to markdietel.com. Mark Dietel, markdietel.com. Tell him Hammer and Nigel sent you.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. For service today. Today.
Great holiday savings all month at Tom Roush Lincoln. And during the Lincoln Wish List sales event, select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 60 months. And all these great deals include the Lincoln Conquest Trade Assist. And don't you forget, all Lincolns come with complimentary pickup and delivery service. So get some of those holiday savings right now at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,845. Subject credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Can you hear me?
So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text business to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
V's offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Donald Trump accepted the Patriot of the Year award last night on Fox's 6th annual Patriot Awards.
The what?
Patriot of the Year.
Oh.
They've been doing this for 6 years. They award people. Many times it's firemen or police officers or military. And last night, Donald Trump was the big winner, Patriot of the Year.
Oh.
Much of that stems, I believe, from the assassination attempt that he experienced on July 13th. And yesterday on Capitol Hill, things got a little crazy. A shouting match ensued. There was this task force. They were holding this hearing on the assassination attempts against Donald Trump. And you had a Representative Pat Fallon. He accused the Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe, of playing politics when he was attending a 9/11 memorial event with top national leaders. So he held up this photo and he was asking where Rowe was standing because you had Biden, Harris, J.D. Vance, Donald Trump all at the event, and Rowe was kind of standing behind Harris. Fallon was questioning Rowe about security at the event, and then Rowe, who is now the director of the Secret Service, completely lost his temper and said that they were politicizing the 9/11 commemoration event.
Congressman, what you're not seeing is the sack of the detail out of the picture's view. And that is the day where we remember the more than 3,000 people that have died on 9/11. I actually responded to Ground Zero. I was there going through the ashes of the World Trade Center. I was there at Fresh Kills.
I'm not asking you that. I'm asking you,
Congressman.
were you the special agent in charge?
To show respect for a Secret Service member that died on 9/11.
Oh, that you're trying to be.
Do not invoke 9/11 for political purposes.
Oh, I'm not. I'm invoking this.
You are, sir.
Gentlemen,
and you are out of line.
I would like to ask him a question.
Please. You are out of line, Congressman.
Don't try to bully me. I am an elected member of Congress, and I'm asking you a serious question, and you are playing politics.
I am a public servant who has served this nation, and
you won't answer the question.
On our country's darkest day.
Committee will come to order. Committee will come to order. I'm asking you serious questions for the American people, and they're very simple. They're not trick questions. Were you the special agent in charge that day?
No, I wasn't. I was there representing the United States Secret Service, sir.
Mr. Fallon, your time's expired.
It did not affect protective operations.
You know why you were there? Because you wanted to be visible, because you are auditioning for this job.
I was there to pay respect for a fallen member of this agency.
You endangered President
out of line,
Biden's life,
Congressman.
Vice President Harris's life, because you put those agents out of position. Mr. Chairman. You have a radio with you?
Sounds like every meeting I've ever had with Tony Katz.
They just keep going. It's like a minute and a half of these two yelling at each other. But to Fallon's point, who is the representative, yeah, he is an elected official. Like 1 million people elected him into office. He's just trying to get to some answers to a lot of questions.
Oh, come on, Casey.
But here's the thing with this director of the Secret Service. He became the acting director after Kim Cheadle resigned. And why do we know his name? It's the Secret Service. We should not know who this guy is at all.
Okay, couple things. Both of these people should be used as piñatas at some little kid's birthday party because they're both equally awful. The level of unprofessional behavior by both of these people is exactly why our country's in this position. Yeah, that guy's an elected official, but there is no more conceited, self-absorbed, egomaniac, elitist group of people than members of the United States Congress. And they're both totally out of line. Now, it's totally fair to ask this guy whatever you want to ask him because the Secret Service is a dumpster fire. It's totally fair to ask this guy whatever you want to ask him, and his response is completely out of line. And the idea you don't have the right to be offended by anything because the Secret Service has proven themselves repeatedly to be totally inept and incapable of doing their job. And just by sheer luck, Donald Trump isn't dead on multiple occasions. And so you don't get the right to be offended. You're ridiculous. But also, just let him yell. If you're a member of Congress, I was unaware member of Congress was short for better than everyone else, right? Show a little professionalism. Just because this guy's acting like an ass doesn't mean you have to as well.
Stoop down to his level.
But it is an insight into what these people in Congress actually think of themselves. I'm better than you. Who are you to address me in anything other than, yes, sir, your highness? And these people, these two guys in one clip showed why our country's in the position it's in because these are the people running our society.
Well, the thing that got me was that Roe was there to testify about security failures during the July 13th assassination attempt on Trump. And Fallon's putting up this picture from this 9/11 commemoration event. He was going to ask a question about the picture, like, where were you standing? And the head of the Secret Service completely did not control his emotions and just lost it. It's almost like the whole thing was just for show.
Well, but of course it is. And the Secret Service director should be ashamed of himself. He, of course, probably has no shame. But he totally was an embarrassment to himself and to the position he has. But again, you're a member of Congress. You're a member of the United States Congress. You represent all these people who voted for you. And his whole thing is, how dare you? Who are you? You have insulted me. He doesn't care about the people that have elected him, which is what you are in Congress. You're a voice of those people. He cares that somebody had the audacity to challenge him. It is no different than when the old Duke of Spendingburg started moving aggressively towards me in front of that room full of people at the Stack's Pancake House. Why? Todd Young hates me. His people hate me because who am I? I'm the one peasant who has the platform to challenge him and influence people's opinion about him and what a crappy, horrible job he's done as a United States Senator and what a crappy job he did as a U.S. congressman before that. And I don't kiss his ass and I don't kiss his ring finger. And you see how unhinged these people are when anybody dares to challenge them.
Couple alpha males in their big swinging contest. You know what I'm talking about. All right, so she is an entrepreneur and a host of a popular podcast called Call Her Daddy. And she had an interesting revelation yesterday. And that is coming up from 93 WIBC.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Still looking. It's 18 degrees and sunny on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. The manhunt for the suspect accused of killing United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City is now in its third day. Police say that they have received what they're calling an avalanche of tips about the suspect, but they are still unsure of his real identity. A congressional committee is still looking into the assassination attempt against President-elect Trump before the election happened. Fox's Ryan Schmelz.
Leaders of the task force say the final report on the assassination attempts could be released soon, but they've run into issues with getting information from the Department of Justice. Chairman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania says with the incoming Trump administration, they could expect more cooperation from the DOJ soon. Acting Secret Service Director Mike Rowe says the agency has made reforms since the first shooting, including using new technology such as autonomous canines at Mar-a-Lago. On Capitol Hill, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
The Detroit Lions are back in the playoffs after their last second win over the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football. Jake Bates hitting a 35-yard field goal as time expired to lift Detroit to a 34-31 win. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. A better-than-expected jobs report has some modest gains to start the day. The Dow was up 77 to 44,854. The NASDAQ is up 49 to 19,750. And the S&P 500 is up 12 to 6,087. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This Christmas, as you're picking out gifts for loved ones, take a moment to think about the future gift you can give yourself. The gift of a secure retirement. Howard Bailey Financial is here to help you unwrap the possibilities of peace and confidence. With our free retirement toolkit, you'll get practical steps and insights to plan for the years ahead. From saving strategies to planning tips, this toolkit is like a financial compass for your future. And best of all, it's completely free to download. Don't wait until next year to start planning. Text GIFT to 888-262-1104. Download your free retirement toolkit and give yourself the gift of financial confidence this holiday season. That's GIFT to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Howard Bailey Security, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob. Christmas is going to be here before you know it. And this Christmas season, as you're making your list of people to get something nice for, why not do something nice for yourself? Give the gift of getting your confidence back with a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. I did it several years ago. And every time I look in the mirror, I'm very glad that I did. Now, here's how this process works. It's very easy. You call today, 317-522-2995, 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. And then you're going to go in. Darren and the gang, they'll take a look at what you got going on, and then they're going to give you some recommendations on how to grow your hair back. From there, you're in the driver's seat. It's totally up to you. 317-522-2995. See everything for yourself. Other people who have made the choice to head over to We Grow Hair Indy and their results at WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
In sports, only one team walks away with the W.
Only one team gets the trophy.
And only one player is named MVP.
But that doesn't mean everyone else who competed leaves empty-handed. I'm Allie Ward from Boonville High School.
And I'm Caleb Ferguson from Columbus North High School. In education-based athletics, no matter who comes out on top, every student-athlete walks away having grown as a person.
Every team walks away learning invaluable life lessons.
From responsibility to collaboration to integrity.
We're thankful to have coaches and mentors who always prioritize learning and growing over winning at all costs.
They're helping us build a mentality of development that will benefit us for the rest of our lives.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty. Be a champion of high school sports and the growth mindset they develop by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is keeping education in front of athletics. This is the second classroom. This is your IHSAA.
Holiday shoppers, it's Terry Stacy. Locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark is your one-stop shop for everyone on your list. 4 locations filled with beautiful, fun, on-trend gifts. The infamous Christmas story leg lamp to display in your front window is selling like crazy at Cynthia's. Get them while they're hot. For kids, Ms. Rachel, the hottest trending toy for toddlers. She's the new Mr. Rogers. And how about a silent basketball? I never heard of such a thing, but Cynthia's has them. A noiseless ball. And kids also love the glow-in-the-dark cozy blankets, just $19.99. Still a top-selling gift are the Follow bracelets and the new Follow plush, supporting wildlife conservation and lets you track a particular animal in the wild. Plus Vera Bradley, Yeti, South Bend chocolates, and more names you know. Cynthia's also has fun holiday cardigans, Grinchy tunics, and holiday lights and merry sweatshirts for your holiday parties, hostess gifts, decor, and more. Shop family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark, celebrating 40 years in January. 116th and Allisonville Road, 116th and Brook School Road, 96th and Lantern Road, and in Greenfield.
Visa offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
She's an entrepreneur, and she hosts a popular podcast called Call Her Daddy.
Is that what she is?
Well, Spotify ranked it as the second most listened to podcast of this past year, behind Joe Rogan.
Isn't that fascinating, though, that so this is some broad that does this podcast,
Alex
right?
Cooper is her name.
Alex Cooper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's basically just women's sex talk. Is that what it is? Is that the premise of the show?
Well, I don't think that's all they talk about, but I believe that was what got her started.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's with Barstool, right? Maybe not.
Really? Well, okay. The point of all this is, good job derailing the segment, Kevin. Let's get back to focus here. The premise of this show is that it is supposed to be influential with young women.
Yeah, she's actually launching a new beverage designed specifically for women. It's called Unwell Hydration. It's supposed to be a functional beverage, your new best friend with benefits. It's like an electrolyte-infused drink.
Okay, so she had this, what's her, Alex Cooper, that's her name?
Alex Cooper.
She had Kamala Harris on this show.
Yeah, she interviewed Kamala Harris in October.
And remember when Kamala Harris went on this show, and it shows how little the media actually understands the electorate. Because remember, she goes on the show, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this is going to get so many young women to just run out in droves to vote for Kamala Harris. And the number of people who listened to this podcast, it was like a pathetic number given what the expectation they had said. It was like 500,000 people or something like that.
Right, especially when you compare to what Trump had when he was on Joe Rogan's show.
And we were talking about it at the time. We said, okay, not only is the number pathetically low, which means you're not delivering anything, the people who are listening to that, unlike the Trump Rogan interview, those people who are going to listen to her have already made up their mind. You're not swaying anyone based on somebody listening to the Call Her Daddy podcast.
Well, it was also a relatively short interview. It was only 40 minutes compared to Trump's 3 hours.
You mean when Trump said,
do it. It's Friday. Say the words.
Did you know that Lincoln had a son named Tad? Tad died. He died very young. There's a tiny picture of Tad right next to Lincoln. Lincoln's bed was big. Tad died. Lincoln was sad. They called it melancholy back then. They didn't call it depression. Rogan, did you know Lincoln had a son named Tad and he died?
We're doing the segment strictly so you can say that.
Oh, I mean, it was just great. It was one of the great moments in podcasting history where Trump, if you have not watched that interview that Trump did with Rogan, he just goes on and on and on.
It's the very first thing, too.
About Lincoln's son, Tad. And we laughed about that he's telling Rogan this as though, Rogan's a pretty learned dude, right? This is not Ernest T. Bass.
Right, like Rogan didn't know any of this.
You're doing an interview with, and he's telling Rogan, and Trump will do this all the time, where he will state relatively well-known things, and he will tell them to you as though you don't know this thing, and he has uncovered this thing that you don't know, and he will not get off the thing. And for Trump, for whatever reason, that day it was that Lincoln had a son named Tad who died very young.
So Alex Cooper, when she interviewed Kamala Harris, she had previously vowed not to feature any politicians on her podcast. But she said she felt a responsibility to her primarily female audience to interview Harris, especially with the focus of women's rights. as one of the issues.
Oh, okay,
She described the decision as a no-brainer.
So real quick, though, just to set the thing of what happened here. Kamala Harris refused, and she did with Rogan too. Kamala Harris refused to do any interviews on site. You had to come
to her,
to them, and that's why Rogan said, "I ain't doing that. I don't need you. You're not going to help me at all. You need me. And if you're not willing for millions of views to come to Dallas, then I'm not helping you at all." Now, in the case of this Call Her Daddy woman, she did agree to meet them somewhere.
I believe it was in a house or something.
Right.
She says it here in this audio clip.
And as part of this, they recreated, and this is one of the reasons I think Rogan decided he wasn't going to do it. He said, they'll try to recreate my set, and they're not going to do a very good job with it. And as part of this, they tried to recreate her set, and on their campaign finance report, apparently, they listed that they claimed it cost them $100,000, the Kamala Harris campaign, $100,000 to recreate her set.
Right. So she was at the New York Times Deal Book Summit, and she was asked about this set, and listen to her response.
There's a little bit of controversy about that podcast, because you did it. Do you know about this?
No, what?
Because in D.C., this interview happened in D.C.
Yeah.
In a hotel.
Yeah. Not in a hotel. It was like a random house.
It was like random house. But apparently, you can tell me, they spent, meaning the Harris campaign spent like $100,000.
I did see
you
that.
know about this?
It's hilarious.
To build the studio.
Yeah, that's not true.
Not true. To make it look like it was the studio that you used in L.A.
My studio that is gorgeous in Los Angeles doesn't even cost six figures. So I don't know how cardboard walls could cost six figures, but.
But do you think they did that? I mean, you saw
Absolutely not. With love to them. Oh my God, it was gorgeous, but like, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't like gorgeous marble. Like, no, that was not six figures.
Okay, so and by the way, these are the people that the left pushes up as their great thinkers and great people you should be consuming. She's so stupid that she doesn't realize what she's essentially accused Kamala Harris of doing, because she doesn't understand how any of this works. But she's essentially accused them of campaign finance fraud.
Right. She's saying it didn't cost that much money.
When you are running for public office, whether you're running for your town council or you're running for president of the United States, you have to report all of your expenses and signatures above expenses and donations above a certain amount. And you do this under penalty of perjury. In fact, there's somebody here locally who could potentially be in some big trouble and has apparently had allegedly some investigations of some sort that played out in the news related to reporting donors that may not have existed. I think we've covered that before.
Yeah.
It's very serious to lie about George Santos, who's giving you the money, what you're doing with the money, and this woman is basically saying, she's accusing them of committing campaign. She doesn't know she did it because she has an IQ of a gnat, but she basically accused Kamala Harris, who she loves, of committing campaign finance fraud by lying about how much they spent on that set.
So is this a situation now where the Harris camp is going to have to turn over receipts for all of the $100,000? I mean, it's easy to understand how she blew through $1 billion.
The media would have to investigate it. The media have to pursue it, which of course they're not going to. But it is the broader thing of people are having a hard time understanding how you could blow through over $1 billion and run a campaign as bad as Kamala Harris did. And this is giving new life to this, in which this woman is basically saying there's no way that thing cost what they claimed it cost.
Yeah, it's she says she doesn't regret having Kamala Harris on, and even though she did get some backlash for doing it, she said it was all worth it.
And even if it did cost that's what you spent $100,000 on. If you were to first class plane ticket for 3 people, let's Kamala and security or whatever, like how much does that cost? There's no way it costs anywhere near $100,000.
Right. They could have spent $2,000 to $3,000 per ticket and still been well under $100,000.
This campaign, but the fact now we've gone from, hey, they just irresponsibly spent a bunch of money to now she's basically saying they're lying about how they spent the money.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Okay, so the singer and songwriter of the song YMCA has come out and offered his services to Donald Trump. And we're going to talk about what else he has said on the way from 93 WIBC.
We are the Hammer and Nigel Show. Don't miss the show tomorrow. Joey Chestnut, he's going to come in studio. We're going to have a shrimp eating contest and also Beer Sample Friday. Nobody has more fun than we do. We'll talk to you at 3.
Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. Have you felt the weather the last couple days? Oh, my goodness. And that's outside. Now, if your windows aren't up to date and up to speed, you might be feeling some of that in your own home, and you certainly don't want that. Universal Windows Direct, they could have the answer, 317-659-7574. And right now, with Universal Windows Direct, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There is no limit. Plus, 60 months of 0% financing. Now, there's some restrictions that apply. So to get all the information, you got to call Universal Windows Direct today at 317-659-7574. And you can check out all their work on the web. Go there now. See it for yourself. UWD.com, UWD.com, Universal Windows Direct. Tell them Rob sent you.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text TIGER to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text TIGER to 42424. That's TIGER to 42424. Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. The best dealers in the region will be at the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts. Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
You've heard the song a lot more recently. The YMCA singer Victor Willis said that he would perform the song at Trump's inauguration if Trump called and asked him to do it. He said the president-elect has done so much for YMCA and brought so much joy to so many people, we would seriously consider it.
Well, if you were to ask me today if Village People would perform at the inauguration, I would probably say not, because we'd be concerned about endorsement. But however, if the president-elect, because the president-elect has done so much for YMCA and brought so much joy to so many people, the song has actually gone back to #1, and it's still #1 today. So if he were to ask Village People to perform the song live for him, we'd have to seriously consider it.
Well, we know he watches, so Mr. President-elect, the ball's in your court.
Can you imagine?
Now, he is the Navy guy in the Village People.
Yes.
So if you're trying to like place which one of the Village People that was, and he was married to I think he's straight. He was married to a woman for many years.
He has come out and he has defended Trump's use of YMCA. He said it isn't a gay anthem. Many people have said that it is, and he said that when he wrote the song, he was unaware of certain things, and that the YMCA was just a worldwide youth organization, and that's where he got it from. He actually wrote the song.
Have you ever read the lyrics to YMCA?
He said that the line "hang out with the boys" just refers to some slang about spending time together for activities like sports and gambling.
Sure it does, right?
He did receive a lot of complaints about Trump using the song at his rallies, and at first he complained about it, but then Trump had a legally political use license for the song from BMI, and he ended up changing his mind, saying, yeah, you know what, we're not going to revoke his BMI license. And of course it has resulted in Willis and, the members of the band getting additional royalties every time it's played.
Well, right.
So, of course, come on. I'm making some money. I'm relevant again. Go ahead, Donald Trump, use my song.
Aren't the Village People just the most interesting thing, where they had, and you know my theory, Casey, if you had 3 mega hits, you're a huge deal. Like if you put out 3 hits, you are a huge deal. And
I can think of 2 from them.
Well, you had
In the Navy was one.
Macho Man.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, that's at least 3 mega hits. To me, the Village People are a big deal, and I know people laugh about it or whatever. You know how hard it is? Kev, you're the resident musician of this group. Tell everybody how hard it is to put out 1 hit, much less 3 mega hits.
It's pretty tough.
Yeah, that's my point. So, right, I mean, you can laugh at these guys all you want. The fact is that they were a huge deal it was a very short window, but the fact that they created 3 songs that all these years later are still played at ball games and they're in commercials, and they're one song that the President of the United States made essentially the anthem of his campaign. Hey, you can chuckle at that all you want. I ain't chuckling. That's quite an accomplishment.
Well, now Victor Willis from YMCA is chuckling all the way to the bank, and you're correct. He is married. His wife is the band's manager.
Okay, there you go. See?
Yeah. Something else that happened, John Fetterman made an appearance on The View, and he was speaking with Joy Behar, and he said during his time on the show that, okay, Biden pardoned Hunter. Well, he also believes that Biden should pardon Trump.
It's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now it's that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
So he's talking about Trump's New York trial, and can Biden pardon for that, or does it have to be Kathy Hochul?
Right. Now, this is where you say, this guy's a moron because he's a United States senator, and he doesn't seem to understand that, no, federal pardons, which the President of the United States are for federal crimes, which is what Hunter Biden was charged with. State and local offenses, which what in this case, now they're the documents case or whatever they could if they want to do that, are done by the governors. And he's a U.S. senator, and he doesn't
know that.
He doesn't know. I mean, that's like, really?
And I don't think that she would do that because she would 100% lose her primary.
Well, right,
based on her base.
Right, but let's go back to he's a United States senator, and he does not know either that Trump is charged with the state crime in this case, or he doesn't know that the president can't pardon people for state crimes, and he's one of the 100 most powerful people in the country.
Yeah.
What I mean, am I just being an alarmist by going, that is incredibly disturbing that a United States senator doesn't appear to know that?
Concerning for sure.
Can we talk about the Haktua girl when we come back?
If we have to.
And I mean, this is
Bitcoin
there's
fiasco.
so many stupid people involved in this, Casey. We have to shine a light on all of these people.
Okay. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Cozy up with a match made in cocoa heaven. Introducing Swiss Miss Schmallow, the perfect pairing of Schmallow, the original toasted marshmallow whiskey from Hotel Tango Distillery, and Swiss Miss Hot Cocoa. You've tried Schmallow before. Now Hotel Tango Distillery is taking it up a notch with this fantastic collaboration with Swiss Miss. Imagine rich, creamy cocoa swirling with a hint of toasted marshmallow warmth. It's a sip of comfort like no other. From cold weather gatherings to quiet nights in, Swiss Miss Schmallow is here to add a touch of sweet nostalgia with an adult twist. Warm up your season. Grab Swiss Miss Schmallow before it's gone. Find it at your local store and toast to the taste of winter. Swiss Miss Schmallow, where cozy meets a little bit of kick. Sip responsibly. Must be 21 or older to purchase alcohol. Available where fine spirits are sold. HotelTangoDistillery.com.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. At Shane Company, we have the widest selection of ring settings and center stones, in stock and ready to compare side by side. It's so easy. Choose a look that brings your vision to life. From classic styles to modern designs, we have them all. Then pick out a natural or lab-grown diamond, a sapphire in your favorite color, or a vibrant gemstone like ruby or amethyst. With our everyday competitive prices and free lifetime warranty, your forever after is safe with us. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. We've got your dream ring and fine jewelry gifts for everyone on your list. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. The year-end clearance event is now through Monday. Save 50% off all. In stock and special order Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers with extra discounts for cash and 12 months interest-free financing. That's every sofa, recliner, sectional. Plus, get a free large Big Green Egg with select Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they were doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors. Use as directed. Vapo Stick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
It's Hamer and Nigel for Window Nation. Tired of turning up the heater this winter? The condensation and chilly drafts coming through your old windows? You need new ones. And now during Window Nation's End of the Year sale, get 50% off all style windows with a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Just imagine what you could do with all those savings. Hurry, sale ends December 31st, so schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the final steps of a criminal trial against 2 IMPD officers. Plus, state police found a lot of cocaine in a car this week. We'll tell you where. And a wild ending thanks to some luck of the Irish in South Bend. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
A lot more Americans were hired last month. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The November jobs report came in better than expected, much better than a month ago.
Employers added 227,000 jobs, topping the forecast. October's disappointing number, affected by hurricanes and strikes, was revised up to 36,000 from the initial read of 12,000.
Fox's Lillian Wu also reports
the unemployment rate edged higher to 4.2% as expected.
Now, despite that increase of 0.1% from October, President Biden just put out a statement that unemployment's been the lowest on average of any administration in 50 years, saying we're making progress for working families. Of course, next month, President-elect Trump will take over in the White House. Melania will be First Lady again. She tells Fox,
I see that the country and the people really support him, and they support him. He's focused to make this country great again.
Now, President-elect Trump posted on Truth Social this morning he keeps backing Pete Hegseth, and he'll be a fantastic defense secretary who has more support than the fake news would have you believe. Amid sexual misconduct and other allegations, Hegseth has spent days meeting with Republican senators ahead of next month's confirmation hearing. He told reporters,
"This will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all."
New York City police out searching a third day for the masked gunman who murdered United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel. Now, he's been seen unmasked in surveillance video, and they believe he came to New York on a bus last week.
Investigators are also looking at that cell phone. So he dropped a burner phone in the alley before he went off and got on a electric bike and took off into Central Park. That could also be key here.
Fox's Alexis McAdams is near the murder scene in New York. The FAA has issued temporary flight restrictions over a military base in New Jersey and near the Trump Bedminster Golf Club after reports of drones flying overhead in recent days. America's listening to Fox News.
3 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Closing arguments. It's 19 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Those are happening today in the manslaughter case against 2 IMPD officers. They're accused in the death of Herman Whitfield III from back in 2022. After closing arguments, jury deliberations are likely to begin with a verdict that could come as early as today. State troopers pulled over a car for a traffic violation while on US 30 in Kosciuszko County Wednesday.
For whatever reason, he had suspicions that there could be something else going on. So I requested a canine, and luckily there was one that was close by.
State Police Sergeant Ted Bonner, who says that canine helped officers find 3 kilos of cocaine in the car. The driver ID'd as Jarvis Buchanan of Fort Wayne. He was arrested for drug possession. 4 people shot at a laundromat Thursday evening in Lafayette. Police say a man was killed, and another man and 2 women are in the hospital in bad shape. It's not clear what led to the shooting, but the person who pulled the trigger is still on the loose. A man in a wheelchair hit and killed by an ambulance Thursday. Harrison Silcox.
It happened around 6 in the morning, according to Fort Wayne police. Officers say David Colin Jr. was hit at the intersection of Crescent Avenue and East State Boulevard, northeast of the city's downtown. Police do not think speed had anything to do with the collision, and they're looking back at surveillance video in the area to get a better idea of what may have happened. The driver of the ambulance did cooperate with officers after the wreck. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers hoping to snap a 4-game skid tonight. They have the Chicago Bulls on the road. In South Bend,
here is Miles.
Miles, 5 seconds left. Miles up under, and Dean! Olivia Miles with 2 seconds left.
The call on ESPN, that bucket sending things to overtime between number 10 Notre Dame and number 4 Texas in women's hoops. Hannah Hidalgo's 30 points, though, would lead the Irish to an 80-70 victory. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
This hour powered by bwindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Well, good morning. It is Friday, December 6th. It's 5 minutes after 10 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Her name is Haley Welch. You probably know her better as the Hawk-Tua girl. She launched a crypto coin, and it plummeted in value within minutes of its launch. I mean, I'm no financial expert, but she certainly seems like the bastion of financial information.
Okay, so there's so many different ways we can go with this. And for those of you who are chuckling about, well, why would you make your top of the hour story a story about the Hawk-Tua girl? Because, look, this woman is a clown, and she has basically become a walking, talking meme herself. Now, for those of you who may not know, in a family-friendly show, this girl was some random, obscure woman who participated in a man on the street video interview. She was asked a question of a sexually provocative nature related to certain sexual acts, and she gave a description, and she's reasonably well assembled, and so in the society in which we live, in which people can cure cancer and they don't get any publicity, but if you're good looking and you say something stupid or sexually provocative, right, you'll become a huge star. And of course, so she's then the cause du jour of the moment, and she started getting invited to all this stuff, and she's on TV shows and podcasts and big social events and whatever. And that's fine.
Did you see Mark Cuban went on her podcast?
Sure, right? And why
because
not?
He's like, oh boy, I got to do something to my reputation. She's the hot thing. I'll go on her podcast.
And that's fine. I'm a capitalist, and I believe in, if by hook or not by crook, but if by luck or whatever, you have an ability to make money on your name and your likeness and who you are, and whether I think it's the most ridiculous reason or not, you do it, man. You do it. But the problem that it appears about to run into is she branched off into a world in which there are regulations and rules, and whether she didn't know those rules and regulations or whether she was playing fast and loose with those rules and regulations or some point in the middle or whatever, she could be about to be in big trouble, which is why if you're an idiot, get someone to advise you on any business decision you make, because you could end up facing potentially serious consequences. So what happened was she was apparently, like a huge portion of the population, had some interest in this cryptocurrency world. Now, I think it is the biggest bunch of bull hockey. I've asked repeatedly multiple people who are experts about this to explain it to me. They can't do it in a way that makes sense. Basically, the crypto thing was made up, and people bought into it. Although, is that really that much different than our dollar these days, right? So, but the point is, there are people who are millions of people who are into it, millions of people who either in a professional or passive way engage in trading and selling cryptocurrency, and that's fine. And she was apparently one of those people. And so this is a thing now where there's a name for it.
Meme coin.
Meme coin, where I'm trying to explain this in a way the average person would understand. There are certain things like Bitcoin that are like, hey, this is legitimate. This has a full faith of the industry behind it. People are engaged in it. And then there's these other coins, for lack of a better term, cryptocurrency, that are just invented out of thin air, and they're goofy and they're wacky. And the premise of them is you buy them up, and then maybe someday someone influential, like an Elon Musk, sees it and goes, I'm going to buy 10 million of these. And then even though the thing's worth fractions of a penny, if you can get it up to 1 penny of value, then you've made a gajillion dollars.
So in the world of cryptocurrency, a meme coin, it's a crypto coin, and it's originated from some kind of internet meme.
Right.
You could say the most famous one is Dogecoin, which was made in reference to a viral photo.
It's a silly world with silly people oftentimes participating in it. But because it is of monetary value, there are still rules and regulations if you're selling it on the open market by which you have to participate. And what is alleged to have happened here with this coin that they launched around her is that somehow, and again, there's going to be a full investigation, I'm sure, a bunch of people got this thing and then sold it immediately. And the people who got it were a very small group of people, and then they sold it, and then the thing plummeted after they sold it because everybody got in and then everybody got out. And that
very
is
quickly
playing fast and loose with the rules and regulations, and quite possibly could be very illegal, and somebody's going to get in trouble for that because you're costing people money. The way it's basically insider trading, right? I mean, it's essentially is things, you're doing things. You cannot do things as an individual to manipulate the price of something unless the public at large has to have the information that you have. If you don't, that's a huge no-no, and you can get in big trouble. And she is alleged, as are others, to have been involved in getting information and doing things to manipulate the price of this thing. Did I say that? Did I say that?
Yeah, she launched it Wednesday evening, I believe at about 5:20.
My Hawk meme coin is live!
She's very excited about it. And within about 30 minutes of her tweeting that she's launching it, early investors reportedly had these significant losses. There was one guy who claimed that he had invested like $35,000. And he said that he had purchased it. After 10 minutes of buying, he had lost all of his money. He said he was a huge fan, but that it took his entire life savings.
We have now done the ABCs of what is accused to have happened here. So we've done that. Now let's do the editorial on what sort of an absolute moron you have to be to put any sort of financial backing behind anything that involves a woman whose lone claim to fame, she didn't invent something, she didn't build a company, she didn't cure anything. Her lone claim to fame is
saying something inappropriate.
Right. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all she's done. And if you are a person who is gullible enough or uneducated enough or stupid enough to put any sort of, it's one thing to say, I put $5 behind it, let's see what happens. A guy put his life savings
into his kid's college fund.
What is wrong with you?
He said that he was always a big fan of her, but now he's going to have to get lawyers involved if he doesn't get some answers from her. And there's a screenshot of all the transactions, and they showed that the insiders were actively selling the coin, which led to further losses. And now there was a community note that was attached to the tweet accusing her of lying, and she could be in some big trouble.
Well, and this has happened now with multiple people on this meme coin. I guess we call it an industry now, where people think, and they're sort of like what I would call edge celebrities, where they're people who are known in a very small sphere, or they're known, they're like Jerry Springer type people. They're not the upper echelon. It's not Britney Spears. It's, although she's obviously out there now. It's not Brad Pitt, right?
What is the upper echelon?
It's not George Clooney
these days.
It's a Hawk Tuah type of person. And I think maybe in their mind, somebody sells them on, well, this is just an endorsement. We're using your face. All you got to do is sell the thing once we put it out there. You'll make a bunch of money. And because these people actually have the intellectual capacity of a banana peel, and they're not consulting, professional investment or attorneys or whatever. They go, oh, cool, wouldn't it be cool to be on a coin? They almost think of it like an endorsement, right? Like I'm being paid.
Yeah.
But that's not how the financial industry works. It's not how financial regulations work. And you've now opened yourself up to potentially be in really big trouble.
It really seems like an influencer's scam is what it is. And these other people getting involved, it's like a get-rich-quick scheme.
But shouldn't this guy know? I mean, it's like, can't both things be true? That you may have committed a crime against humanity, and you, if you have, should be held accountable. And also, you shouldn't get your money back because if you're that stupid to invest in a meme coin of the Hawk Tuah girl, shouldn't you have anticipated, I'm going down, I'm yelling timber?
There might be a chance I might lose all of my life savings in this. I, on the other hand, only invested $100.
But it wasn't a legitimate thing, right? It's not a meme. You weren't in a meme coin.
No.
This was, in terms of cryptocurrency, what it was,
Ethereum.
Ethereum. And that is, it's not the upper echelon like Bitcoin, but it's a known thing. It moves, it fluctuates. Sometimes the swings are a little wild based on but it's based on the stock market. It's based on the dollar. It's based on things that are tied to actual stuff that you can anticipate gains and losses like a company. And whether you think crypto is great or the most ridiculous thing ever, you can predict how the thing is going to move. It has legitimate people and money and things behind it. This is ridiculous.
So 2 years ago, I put $100 into Ethereum, and we've tracked it over the past couple of years. It's gone up and down. It's gone all the way down to $35. It's back up today. Oh, it just went up again.
Oh,
Rob,
congratulations.
During this segment, it's now back up to $90. So far, my investment into cryptocurrency has cost me $10.
You know who is at? So my wife's cousin is super into crypto, and over Thanksgiving, he spent probably an hour
trying to explain it to you.
And I kept asking questions and
Your eyes were glazing
He's got it
over.
on his phone, and he's explaining the buying and the selling. And you ever get that at Thanksgiving where like you get trapped into a conversation where it's like, I have a passable 5 minutes of information I can extract from you, and now it's turned into an hour, and I can't get out of this vortex because now you think, rather than me just trying to get passive information to help educate my audience, you think I'm actually really
interested
into this thing, and now you're showing me this coin and that coin. You know and he's a great guy and a really good dude, and I always enjoy talking to him. But you know who is really into crypto?
Yeah,
is
Indy Spanglish's son.
Yes, maybe we should have him come on. And try to explain all of this like we're idiots, because when it comes to this, I am, and based on the fact that over 2 years you've still lost $10, you aren't much better than me. Maybe we should have him come on and explain what exactly has happened here.
Okay, and did you see that Donald Trump has announced the appointment of David Sachs as the crypto czar? He's going to be the White House AI and crypto czar.
This sounds like a really big growth of government.
Yeah.
I thought the Doge was supposed to be shrinking the government.
Right.
And now we have another czar.
Well, it's also interesting because Trump has been pretty critical of cryptocurrency, but now he is embracing the digital assets.
His money man's behind
right,
it.
exactly. So we've got to make sense of this. Let's see if we can get Jaden in here to explain it to all of us.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
The year's coldest day has arrived.
93 WIBC.
Winds wrapping around the low pressure. Wind chills only in the single digits.
Hear the news.
Murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City.
Does not appear to be a random act.
Shot by a masked gunman.
Deny, depose, and defend, written on live rounds.
Another news update is minutes away.
The Pacers have dropped 8 straight road games.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
JMV here. This holiday season, you must visit Miss M's Home and Garden for great holiday gifts and decor. Come shop for fresh-cut trees, wreaths, garland, and greenery for outside decorating. If you have plant lovers in the family, Miss M's has a magnificent selection of houseplants that make great gifts. Now through December the 23rd, houseplants are 20% off. Miss M's Home and Garden wants to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Miss M's is located on State Road 135, south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
Hey, Dad?
Yeah, bud?
I'm too afraid to tell him what I saw, what I sent, what I downloaded.
You can't help what you don't know. Tell the teens in your life they can talk to you about what's happening online.
Hey, you can tell me anything, right?
Yeah, I know. We need to talk.
Learn more about online safety at InternetCrimesAgainstKids.com. A message from the Indiana Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, sponsored by the Indiana State Police.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
We set out to be the very best of the best, and the past couple years we've actually achieved that. For all of the state of Indiana, we've been awarded the Dealer of the Year award twice now. Unlike other brands, that only gets handed to one dealer every year, and we're very proud to have won that twice.
Put the best to work for you at FamilyHVAC.net. Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life.
See Pierce Jewelers' breathtaking selection of lab-grown diamonds, refined to perfection and value. It's the new choice in diamonds. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
They have been very busy, Rob.
Oh.
Talking about Governor-elect Mike Braun's transition team. They made a few announcements this week about who's going to be working within the administration.
I'm always excited to learn who are the new people who will lord over me. It's always just a fresh group of faces that will likely let me down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so he has announced that he's retaining Katie Jenner as Indiana's Secretary of Education and also appointed David Adams as Secretary of Commerce.
Okay, so let's talk about the Secretary of Education because this is a Holcomb holdover, which gives me great pause because education under Eric Holcomb has been an abject disaster. And one of the things that they cited was the improvement in the, iRead scores or whatever it's called. Well, look, you tanked those scores because you shut the schools down and everything plummeted during COVID. It's a very Biden-esque sort of thing where Biden's like, look at all the jobs that were created under my administration. Well, yeah, everybody was out of work because you shut society down, which you supported, and those jobs came back. That's not a job created. That's just something that came back. And so for them to tout the scores going up as some reason that she should be retained when education across the board in this state is a mess under it was a mess under Ritz. It was a mess under McCormick. It was a mess under her. I mean, most of these schools, there's 2 or 3 schools that if you gave them a letter grade would not get an F.
Yeah.
And those are all Ds. If you use the public school grading scale for how these schools are producing as a school corporation, only 2 or 3 of them are above 60%, and that is barely. And that is a disaster. And you know, the funding thing is a train wreck. The lack of accountability is a train wreck. The fact that all we're doing is teaching to tests, it seems, and that's how we're judging our teachers, is a train wreck. And I don't know, man, that's kind of a red flag that we're going to keep the same people in charge. Now, everybody gets an opportunity, and I'm going to be hopeful and optimistic that things get better, but what are we doing here?
Are you surprised that he's retaining her?
Well,
or is there just...
The reasoning is what is...
Is there just a vacuum? Nobody else?
Well, look, the major problem here is the Indiana General Assembly and Holcomb tries to have their cake and eat it too. You can't, on one hand, say that public education is worth throwing record money at every single year, and that's what we do. I mean, we're spending $22 billion in the most recent budget towards public education. That's pre-property tax, by the way. That's before the probably, $4.5 to $5 billion annually on property taxes. So you think about annually, we're putting about $16 billion plus into public education, K through 12, public education in this state. You can't be doing that and then go, hey, public schools are so bad that we've got to throw record money to school vouchers for charter and private schools. These two things, this is what is so frustrating to me. These two things cannot both be true. Either the public education system is performing at a level that is worth record money every single time, or it's not, and we've got to move away from that model because clearly after all these years, we've given them the opportunity they cannot succeed, and these lawmakers keep talking out of both sides of their backs.
So Braun praised her for her leadership in literacy, STEM education, and also workforce readiness. And he says that, she aligns with his administration goals. And her priorities include college and career readiness, improved literacy and math outcomes, which you just talked about, also universal choice, which is a big thing for you, and increasing teacher-based pay.
But then we get into the teacher-based pay thing, which how many times have these school corporations had these referendums that were supposed to boost teacher pay? How many of these referendums across the state in local school districts, right? So the state doesn't have anything to do with it. The local community, the local school corporation has said, we will have these referendums to boost teacher pay. How many times have they passed? How could we not have the teacher pay issue solved? Where is the money going?
The administrators.
Right. The issue is not the money or the amount of money. The issue is the administrating, no pun intended, of the money. There's plenty of money. It's where it's being. I saw Micah talking about this. He did an interview with Wish TV the other day saying the exact same thing. It's not the amount of money. It's how the dollars are being utilized. If $16 billion plus annually is not enough for you in a state of 7 million people, what is the number? And whenever you ask this question, they get real offended, right? I've always said, if 16 billion is enough, then what's the number? Tell me when I will be able to hold you accountable as a public education system. 17, 18, 19, 20. They don't want to answer that question. They will not answer.
Never enough.
Because it's that correct. Bingo. Yeah. So my issue here is, what is this woman going to do differently under Braun that she didn't do under Holcomb? And if she really believed these things, then why didn't she speak up and do them under Holcomb?
Right.
If she's doing these things, is she doing them just to stay in a position because she wants the power? And if there's some dramatic change, then that should be a red flag that maybe she doesn't really believe these things. She's just doing them for a position of power. Or if it's going to be a continuation of public education under Holcomb, then we all got way bigger problems than who's the person making the choices.
We do have voicemails coming up, and in the voicemails, somebody referenced something that Ronald Reagan said. So I had to go down a Ronald Reagan rabbit hole looking for the quote that the phone caller was talking about. But while I was doing that, I came across this clip. Do we have it, Kevin? Yeah, it's Ronald Reagan, and this is going back to 1983.
Yeah.
And he's talking about education, and I thought, wow. This still rings true today. Check this out.
Governments seem to forget that education begins in the home, where it's a parental right and responsibility. Both our private and our public schools exist to aid your families in the instruction of your children. For too many years, people here in Washington acted like your family's wishes were only getting in the way. We've seen what that Washington knows best attitude has wrought. I think most parents agree it's time to change course. We must move education forward again with common sense as our guide. We must put the basics back in the schools and the parents back in charge.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Couldn't say it any better myself. Until we fix the family issue, until we fix parents being involved in their kids' lives, and a big part of that is education, you could throw $50 billion at this, and it's not going to solve it.
Yeah. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Visa offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Proud to be employee of.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
There's a reward. It's 21 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. Police are still trying to find the suspect accused of killing the CEO of the country's largest health insurance company on the streets of New York City. United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson was shot to death Wednesday morning in front of the New York Hilton in Midtown Manhattan. A $10,000 reward is being offered for info leading to the shooter's arrest. UFOs, that's what a congressional subcommittee is discussing in a closed-door hearing with leaders of the Pentagon.
Many Republicans want to know why the need for secrecy to discuss this topic, especially with many people concerned in the public. Now this classified briefing has taken on more urgency after the FBI began investigating mysterious nighttime drone flights this week across central New Jersey and is asking the public for help. The drone flights have taken place near a U.S. military research and manufacturing facility and over President-elect Donald Trump's golf club in Bedminster.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This Christmas, as you're picking out gifts for loved ones, take a moment to think about the future gift you can give yourself. The gift of a secure retirement. Howard Bailey Financial is here to help you unwrap the possibilities of peace and confidence. With our free retirement toolkit, you'll get practical steps and insights to plan for the years ahead. From saving strategies to planning tips, this toolkit is like a financial compass for your future. And best of all, it's completely free to download. Don't wait until next year to start planning. Text GIFT to 888-262-1104. Download your free retirement toolkit and give yourself the gift of financial confidence this holiday season. That's GIFT to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Howard Bailey Security, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey guys, it's Friday. Sunday's going to be here before you know it. 2 days if my public school math tells me right. And this Sunday, it's the Christmas season. Why not check out Life Church? It's a place we call home. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Life Church is warm. They're welcoming. Now would be the perfect time for you to see what it's all about. Many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church over the years. Find out for yourself why. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton, plus awesome online services. Learn more about everything, lifechurchin.com. Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indy. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indy, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indy, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndy.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndy.com and grow your hair back today.
The camaraderie and community you experience in high school sports is unlike anything else. I'm McKenna Cruz from Greenwood Community High School.
And I'm Sawyer Tittman from Fort Wayne Snyder High School. Where else do coaches help their players develop as athletes and as human beings?
Where else do student athletes grow together and grow up together?
Where else do parents and fans from all walks of life come together as one to cheer on their team?
High school sports are special because coaches, student athletes, and fans know they are all in it together.
The camaraderie and community we experience is just one reason why we love high school sports and why it is unlike anything else.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty. Be a champion of high school sports and the way they bring everyone together by buying a ticket to your high school's athletic events. This is unity. This is pride in your community. This is your IHSAA.
Emmer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatment at 317-559-PAIN.
Welcome to the Friday edition of your voicemails at 317-684-8444 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So earlier this week, the Indiana Republican Party Chair Randy Head stepped down from his position, returning full-time to his lobbyist position ahead of the legislative session. State party chairs are barred from lobbying the legislature. Okay, so that means the position is open. You've done some digging in your quest for transparency, and here's a phone call regarding that.
Rob, you really believe that the RNC in Indiana is going to give you transparency, or that whoever takes over this position is somehow going to push for Braun's agenda or to get rid of Diego or even tell you where their money's coming from? You are either extremely jaded or you are 110% in kiss the ring mode just because your buddy Micah is now lieutenant governor. And don't get me wrong, I like Micah and I have full faith and power in Micah that's going to do the right thing. But from what I've heard about you talking about the pittance of what you're paid to be on the air, this sounds like a pay raise for you. And with the family to raise, you might as well get in there and do it. Because how many of these delegates that are going to vote for this position are actually delegates that voted for Micah to be lieutenant governor? Pull that card. Could you imagine actually being on the inside, having influence, and giving full transparency that nobody else would give us? You would be the most powerful Republican in the state of Indiana. And you can come back on the air anytime you want. I'm sure the dude and Casey would be more than happy to have you on their show, as well as your buddy Hammer and Nigel. But, yeah, if you turn this down, you're just giving up every opportunity that you have to be the most influential Republican in the state of Indiana.
Well, first of all, I already am the most influential Republican in the state of Indiana.
Pretty much. Number one. Did you see where we're number one?
The governor literally announced his property tax plan on our show, then changed his plan, his entire plan, based on what I told them.
Your research.
I already am the most influential Republican in the state. I don't want another job. Everybody keeps trying to give me another job.
No, you
I don't
just
want to
stay
do
right
this.
there.
I don't want to go work for Micah. I don't want to be an elected person. I like this job. My issue is, it sometimes feels like I'm the only one trying to get something different done. Like, I had this conversation online with somebody over the last couple days who, by the way, he just rips on the Republicans all the time and how bad the Republicans are and how great the Libertarians are. But he's currently serving, it's my understanding, as an appointed official to boards and commissions as a Republican. Like, on your boards and commissions in your community, there's majority party, minority party. He's accepting the board and commission appointments as a Republican because he wants the power. But then when it's like, okay, but we can do this stuff. No, the Republicans are bad. And this conversation I've had with this guy over the past couple days has centered around him not wanting to do anything to help pass Braun's property tax plan. Well, property taxes are unjust. Yes, I agree. Well, then why would I support anything else? Because unless you have a plan to get 51 people or 51 votes in the House of Representatives to get rid of property taxes, and 25 or 26 senators to get rid of property taxes, which doesn't exist, nor does anywhere close to that exist, this is the best option you have right now. Mike Braun's plan is the best option you have, and it'll save you like $500 or $1,000 for many people. Why would you do anything other than that's great? Sign me up to where I can help participate to make this thing happen, to help myself, if for no other reason. But this guy doesn't want to do that. And it's the same thing with this. Why do I have to be the guy that fights for the transparency in the Republican Party? Why is it always me that has to step up and be, all right, I'll inconvenience myself. I'll take time out of my day. All it ever is Rob will do it, Rob will do it. We should tell Rob about this. We should tell Rob about that. Why does it always have to be me?
Because it's always the same names floating around within the party doing the same thing. It's just like at school when it's the same moms who show up to do the volunteer work over and over again. I mean, we just saw it moments ago with the latest name that Mike Braun came out with, Secretary of Business Affairs. He's named Mike Speedy.
Mike Speedy?
Mike Speedy.
So Mike Speedy was
it's the same people.
So Mike Speedy was a state rep who got resoundingly rejected by the voters this past year when he ran for Congress. And now he gets a well, whatever.
You would be a new voice within the party. However, I do agree with you. You're more influential right there in that chair.
Right. This is the point with all of this. If I leave here, the movement basically dies. I am John Connor. I am from John Connor from Terminator. I am the resistance. I'm the guy on the CB talking to the people in all their little bunkers as the cyborgs are trying to take over humanity. If you lost this, then who's going to lead the resistance?
Right. Okay, we've got time for probably one more phone call, and then maybe we'll get to some more later in the show. But I had mentioned this earlier. Somebody called. They were talking about Donald Trump and his nominations. Specifically, you and I had a conversation about Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense nominee, and this guy is hoping that Trump will get his nominations through.
We want to hope and pray that Trump can get in there and get Congress to go with him on some of these radical changes, or at least trying to clean up the swamp. I'm old enough to remember when Ronald Reagan tried it, but he couldn't get Congress to go with him. He once made a comment. I can't remember exactly how it went. It's been so many years, but it was something like, and it referred to things like the Department of Education, that once they get started, you'll never get rid of them. And the comment was something like, government is like the closest thing you'll ever see to eternal life while living on Earth. That brought back my memories of him trying to do the same thing that Trump's about to do. So more power to him. I hope he can get it done with the help of us. Remember, it goes all the way down to your locals.
No government ever voluntarily reduces itself in size. So government programs once launched never disappear. Actually, a government bureau is the nearest thing to eternal life we'll ever see on this earth.
That's an old Reagan.
Yeah.
That's an old Reagan
Yeah,
clip.
that was the quote. So we'll see. Senator Mike Lee has confirmed that he thinks Pete Hegseth will get the Secretary of Defense confirmation, and Jim Banks has come out with a large support for him.
I love
as well.
that Hegseth isn't quitting. I love that he's like, all right, let's vote it up.
Yeah.
Everybody get on the record. Let's see who's where. I'm not getting out of this. I'm staying in. Let's do it.
Yeah. Hammer's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
We are the Hammer and Nigel Show. Don't miss the show tomorrow. Joey Chestnut, he's going to come in studio. We're going to have a shrimp eating contest and also Beer Sample Friday. Nobody has more fun than we do. We'll talk to you at 3.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Looking for a great place to go for car care?
Hi, this is Lonnie Hinkle from Jiffy Lube, and I'd like to share the top 5 reasons that every Hoosier should trust Jiffy Lube to help keep their car running safe and well. Number 5, our computer system holds the maintenance data for every make and model. We know exactly what your car needs and when it needs to be done. Number 4, Jiffy Lube's training system is in the Training Magazine Hall of Fame. Along with companies like Ritz-Carlton, Starbucks, and Nordstrom's, our team does the job right. Number 3, you never need an appointment. We are ready to serve you whenever it works best for you, so come on in and see us. Number 2, Jiffy Lube accepts competitor coupons so you can get our great service at the desperate price of our competitors. And number 1, Jiffy Lube is a one-stop maintenance shop, and we make it easy for you to take great care of your car. Avoid the repair shop by getting your maintenance done at Jiffy Lube. And we now offer brakes, tires, tune-ups, and minor repairs at most stores.
So head to Jiffy Lube. There's really no reason to take your car anywhere else.
Do you have an idea for a book, fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. 800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
According to CBS News, the average American loses out on an average of $182,000 in Social Security income, and it's because they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
This free analysis could help you get the most income from Social Security while considering the impacts on your spousal benefits, taxes, IRA and 401k withdrawals, and Medicare premiums. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. Don't lose $182,000 in Social Security income. That money's rightfully yours. Call Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. Maximize your home sale now with a market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried about costly repairs or upgrades needed to sell your home. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Ray in Indianapolis had to say about working with Mark Dietl. I needed to move in a hurry, so I was out the door into a new home, but left with the big problem of selling my old home with 2 mortgage payments fast approaching. I heard Mark Dietl was the answer, and I heard right. I was ecstatic when Mark sold my home for the price I needed in 2 days on the market. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietl, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. The best dealers in the region will be at the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Get your home ready for the holidays with 3 rooms of carpet clean starting at only $129 and take $75 off air duct cleaning. Book online at zeroresindy.com.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
He's joining us from the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show, Jason Hammer. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you guys. Had my heart broken last night. I had the Lions -3.5.
Yeah.
Got beat by the hook last night. And listen, I've been using a lot of the data and information that is provided to us from statfactory.io, new sponsor of the Degenerates Next Door.
Great.
And a lot of the information, let's be honest, sometimes it's just a gut feel, right? So the Lions stink in the division. Packers are really good in the division. Packers are not really good on the road. Lions really good at home. So I took the Lions laying more than 3 last night, and that no good rotten Dan Campbell.
Okay, so I did everything I could do for you on this one because I wanted the show to get a win, and I took the Packers getting the 3.5. So I won, but I tried to help you because no one is worse luck than me. So I tried to help you.
Well, I appreciate that, but Dan Campbell didn't help me. And I see on social media all over the place, oh, look at the huevos that Campbell has. He goes for it on 4th down. Yeah, you know who that affects? People who have Lions -3.5.
Yeah.
Because when you go for it on your own 30 and don't get it, then you give up free points.
You won that bet last night. Like you won that bet, and the coach cost you. And you can't. Any data is not going to tell you that because you got screwed 3 times by the Lions. That interception that ended up going quickly then for a touchdown. The going for it, which was a stupid play beyond belief in their own red zone that went for a touchdown, or in their own part of the field that went for a touchdown, and then going for it at the end because if he kicks a field goal, then you could still get a field goal, get some overtime, get a touchdown, potentially get a cover. 3 different times the Lions did you dirty last night.
That's gambling, man. Sometimes you have all the information, you make the right play, and you still get done dirty.
You just need to yell louder at the TV. They can't hear you.
Oh, I think they can. I think if they really apply themselves.
Now, you and I have got action tonight.
Head-to-head.
Yeah, this is rare on our show.
So conference championship games begin tonight for college football. Now, the major players, the big boys, all play on Saturday, right? Like the Big Ten championship games here. The SEC is in Atlanta. But you've got some of the smaller conferences. They play tonight. So Rob and I are on opposite sides of UNLV against Boise State. The line is 4.
4.5 is what I got it at.
Okay, but when we made our bet, though,
was it 4?
Yeah, it was 4 on the Degenerates
Are you
Next
sure?
Door. I was there. I pay attention.
I don't know about that.
And it's a campus site game, so it's at Boise on that blue Smurf turf they have. Outdoors, it's going to be cold. I want the better running attack. I got the best running back in the country. Outside in the cold, I'm laying 4 with Boise.
I'm with you.
As Rush Limbaugh famously said about Barack Obama, I hope you fail. Did I really? Is it only 4? It is only 4. Boy, I was thinking it was 4.5. Boy,
Just the first in a string of losses you're going to have tonight there, Rob.
So UNLV's got a much better quarterback. It's hard to beat a team twice. I don't even care if Boise State wins the game, just as long as they don't win by more than 3. I guess 4 is a push. Neither one of us would be the winner there on that one. But
I'm also on Tulane against Army. We're laying 5.5 in that matchup. I like Tulane's offense. But we had no, we didn't. We had Tulane team total. That's what we have.
Yeah. So just go to download Degenerates Next Door podcast. We got 2 of them up. We got a college football one. Got the NFL one. Kind of a stinker week for the NFL.
Yeah, Colts are off this weekend, and the best game on the schedule has already happened.
Yeah.
Like that was last night, the best matchup. So,
and by the way, you helped me out twice because I was going to take that. I wasn't paying attention to win games where I was just looking at the slate of games and then doing research, and I was going to take the Lions given the 3.5, and you threw a fit like a petulant child that I was going to bet the same game you were, and so I pulled off that game. So you saved me. Your hubris and ego saved me from having to explain myself to the public at large.
Listen, I'm the Thursday night betting guy, and the last thing I need is another person at this station stealing my bets. So you stay on the Monday night games.
Another person.
I'll stay on the Thursday night games, okay? Capiche? Are we good?
Hey, did you see that the Indiana Supreme Court ruled that they can execute that Corcoran?
Is it frowned upon to tailgate? Like if I show up outside of Michigan City and I've got a beer dispensing helmet and a keg and, we got a hibachi grill going, is that frowned upon?
No, did you see what that guy did?
Oh, yeah. Dude, nobody knows more about the scumbags on death row than I do. And that's the thing that drives me nuts. All these people like, oh, I don't believe in the death penalty. Go through and read what he did and read what happened that he got away with.
Yeah.
He killed his parents, too.
Yeah.
But because of the incompetence of the prosecution, and it seems like just a wild trial, he was acquitted of that, which even the family members say was a total mistake now. But, yeah, this dude is going to meet his maker. But you bring an interesting question to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Mike Braun... I'm sorry, not Mike Braun, Eric Holcomb.
Holcomb block it.
Right. Will he give clemency in the last hour?
Because Holcomb's such a wimp and is such a weasel. Now, keep in mind, Holcomb's the guy who once gave a VIP meet and greet to Malik Muhammad, who had threatened to seize the governor's residence on live TV.
Right.
Let him go. Then he went to Portland and tried to kill cops in Portland, which is why he's in jail now. That's who our governor is. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that Holcomb will give this guy clemency.
It was 3-2 by the Supreme Court in Indiana to deny
he wants
stay of
to
execution.
die. He's begging to be executed. What are we doing here?
Don't threaten me with a good time. I don't know, but we'll have the latest on that this afternoon. And Joey Chestnut, Joey Jaws, in studio this afternoon. Nige and I are going to have a shrimp eating contest. And because the Colts are off this week, to do the play-by-play of the shrimp eating contest is the voice of the Indianapolis Colts, Matt Taylor.
Oh, how
Fantastic.
cool. Now, I don't mean to brag here at this table, but because, I'm a humble person of meager means. But you and I, one year, this will shock people, Nigel was out when Joey Chestnut came for the shrimp eating contest. You and I had a little back and forth on, and this was when you were large.
Yes.
You were a big person. You look very nice now.
Thank you.
And
He's a lean, mean fighting machine.
In the equivalent of Idaho defeating Texas, I beat you in the shrimp eating contest.
Like, the thing about me people need to understand is, I've made this clear, I can't swallow pills.
That's right.
So the whole, swallowing it just when you put it in your mouth thing, it's tough for me.
Yeah.
Now, I can eat more than others.
Yeah.
I can drink more than others, but I stink at bonging beers and, these eating contests.
And with the St. Elmo's, it had that you got the sauce on it, which is bad.
Oh, it's so good, though.
It is great, but trying to eat that fast.
Oh, it burns you up, man. It burns you up.
Stings the nostrils.
Yes,
in a good way.
All
That'll
right,
be fun.
good luck.
Thanks, Hammer. It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
One of the real advantages that we have here at Hendricks is the scope of the services that we have to offer in orthopedics.
Whether they have a hip fracture or they're a high-functioning athlete, we're all working towards the same thing.
To have them be able to have an elective surgery safely and then go home also in a safe fashion is of utmost importance.
We very much want everyone to get back to doing everything that they were doing beforehand. We're really invested in it.
Unstoppable orthopedic care. Learn more at hendricks.org/ortho.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a Christmas present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at sacentralindiana.org.
Nobody cares for you like family. Family Heating and Air.
Hi, this is Malia with Family Heating and Air, and as a mom myself, I know it's really important to keep the kiddos healthy. Air quality, humidity, those are super big issues on my concern list. If you share any of these concerns, give family a call, 317-577-8077.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Shh. The silence you just heard? You could have used that space to reach your customers. Get your message in front of your customers. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
Your one blood donation can help save the lives of up to 3 people. Give blood through the American Red Cross to help hospital patients. Visit redcrossblood.org today.
Looking for the hottest trends in jewelry this year? Come to Pierce Jewelers and see their Love to Love collection in lab-grown diamond jewelry. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Coming up in 2 minutes, will the jury return a verdict today? Plus, Jake McDaniel reports on where 4 people were shot overnight, and Ryan Hedrick on a pair of bad parents in northern Indiana. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
It's a report going over well on Wall Street. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Stocks rising with the NASDAQ and the S&P 500 on track to close the day at record highs after
the November jobs report beats expectations.
Fox's Lillian Wu.
Hiring bounced back last month, with employers adding 227,000 jobs.
That is up from just 36,000 jobs in October. The unemployment rate, however, inched up last month at 4.2%, a tenth higher. President Biden in a statement says unemployment has been the lowest on average in 50 years during his administration, calling it progress for working families. President-elect Trump is getting ready to take over next month. He just posted on Truth Social he keeps backing his defense secretary nominee.
Pete Hegseth is doing very well. His support is strong and deep, much more so than the fake news would have you believe. He'll be a fantastic, high-energy Secretary of Defense.
Fox's Bill Malugin reading the Post near the Trump estate in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Pete Hegseth responded to that saying, quote, "Thank you, Mr. President. Like you, we will never back down."
Hegseth has called sexual misconduct and other allegations an attempted media takedown of him. There's concern about drones flying over a Trump property and other areas of New Jersey and New York.
There is no known threat to the public at this time, says New Jersey's Democrat Governor Phil Murphy on X, after calling a briefing with Homeland Secretary Mayorkas. But now neighboring Staten Island joining the call to the FBI and FAA to investigate mysterious drone flights over its marine terminals. Reports of drones flying solo and in fleets started coming in nightly before Thanksgiving, large military-style craft, prompting the FAA to close the airspace over Trump National Golf Club at Bedminster and Picatinny Arsenal.
That's Fox's Therese Crowley. A federal appeals court has just ruled against TikTok, upholding a law that could lead to the social media app being banned in the U.S. unless TikTok breaks ties with its Chinese parent company, amid concerns about TikTok users under surveillance and China manipulating content. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What will they decide? Radar is clear, 22 and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Jury deliberations expected to begin today in the manslaughter case against 2 IMPD officers. Both were involved in the death of Herman Whitfield III, who died in 2022 while being restrained by the cops during a mental health crisis. A quadruple shooting in Lafayette Thursday evening. Jake McDaniel reports.
4 people were shot at a laundromat on South Street. Police reported to the scene around 7 o'clock, and they found a man who did not survive the shooting. 1 man and woman were taken to the hospital where they are recovering, and another man was taken to a hospital in Indianapolis where he is in critical condition. Police are still looking into this, and they said there are no threats to the public. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A 2-year-old girl in Bern died from neglect, say police. Ryan Hedrick with more.
This may be hard to hear. Sanisha Perez and Jace Hershey lived in a dirty apartment with
trash and moldy food in extreme heat. Last month, police investigated a death at the Swiss Meadows Apartments. In the bedroom, officers found a little girl lying on a soiled mattress with a dirty diaper. She died from prolonged exposure to heat. Perez and Hershey are facing charges. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A stay of execution has been denied for Joseph Corcoran. He's the man on death row for killing 4 people in Fort Wayne back in 1997. The stay was denied after Corcoran sent a letter to the Indiana Supreme Court saying that he does not want to appeal his death sentence any longer. A tough start to conference play for the Purdue Boilermakers. The number 8 Boilers manhandled by the unranked Nittany Lions of Penn State last night, 81-70.
But I thought they did a fantastic job. Like, give them all the credit in the world. I thought we did a poor job of handling it, and as the head coach, I didn't have them ready to play.
Head coach Matt Painter, 24 turnovers committed by the Boilermakers throughout the game. They come home to face Maryland on Saturday. I'm Kurt Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal. Like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more.
This hour powered by bwindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It's Friday, December 6th. It's 5 minutes after 11 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Elon Musk was on Capitol Hill yesterday with his son. They were there discussing plans to downsize federal agencies, cut wasteful spending, and improve government productivity. He was there along with Vivek Ramaswamy. They emphasized the need for the government to spend public money wisely during his meetings with different lawmakers.
You know what's fascinating is so they've come out and they're laying out areas where cuts can be made. We're finding inefficiencies in government. And we should all.
No kidding.
We should all, right, no matter what department it is, believe if there's an inefficiency or an ineffective program in the government, that we should get rid of it. But what you're seeing in the response to this and what they've laid out so far is a primo example of why this country is in the position it's in, why our debt is what it is. So one of the areas that they have found mass inefficiencies in is the VA, Veterans Affairs, veteran health care. There's a lot of waste. Yeah. We're not talking about getting rid of effective health care for veterans. We're not talking about not taking care of veterans. We're simply talking about, of all our government agencies, this is one, and veterans will tell you this, of how poorly it's run, how ineffective it is, how hard it is to get quality care, all of these things, if you talk to many, many veterans who have experience. And so they have proposed massive changes, massive cuts, for lack of a better term. And, of course, the left seizes on this of, see, they're going right for the veterans. No, every department has massive inefficiencies in it. Every department has massive ineffective portions of it. All of these layers of government, if they were in the private sector, would be just stripped away because they don't work. And yet, you know, I guarantee when the recommendations they come in with, anything that has to do with veterans health care will be immediately put to the side because that's, you know, a sacred thing and it's my thing and we can't touch it. And that's why the country's in the position it is, because everybody's got their thing. Well, your thing's bad and we can cut that and we can fix that. But my thing, well, no, we can't do that. Nothing ever gets cut.
Well, there was that new report that came out that said only 6% of federal employees go to work in the office full time, and a third of them are fully remote. And what a waste this is. We can get more into that in just a bit. But to Elon Musk's credit, he seemed to be willing to sacrifice even his own income. I mean, it's out of this world, so it's not going to hurt him one bit. But when he was asked about the $7,500 EV tax credit for some of the electric vehicles, he said eliminate all credits, including those for EV buyers.
And this is an example of a guy walking the walk, not just talking the talk, right? He is saying, hey, I'm proposing things that are sacred to other people that we got to reform. I'm willing to take my own and throw it out the window as well. And he's right. There's zero reason. If electric cars are great, if electric cars are what the public wants, then the public will take care of that with their pocketbook. They will financially fund that endeavor, and they will make that a profitable venture that the private sector will want to do. That doesn't happen because, for a variety of reasons, many people do not want electric cars, and still far more people, if left to their own druthers, are going to buy gas-powered cars than are not. If you want an electric car, great. I have friends who have Teslas. They love them. That's wonderful. I'm not in a position where I can afford a Tesla, and the benefit of having one and the cost associated with that doesn't outweigh what gasoline still costs me. And what Elon Musk is saying is that exactly that. Let's make it on our own. We think the Tesla's good enough that we don't need the electric car credit. And so
they'll sell by themselves.
What a great guy to lead by example and say, I'll go first, take my benefit away from me.
Donald Trump posted this comedian to his Truth Social, and here he is doing a bit about Teslas.
About the election is a lot of liberals were driving Teslas. And now they're trapped. Dark MAGA Elon came out. Gotcha. The T on the back is for Trump. You funded the last 6 months of the campaign. And they can't get rid of them because Republicans are now like gasoline. I can just see people now with a Sharpie at night going up to it. R-U-M-P.
So the Republican lawmakers, they're planning to use the budget reconciliation early next year, and the goal, obviously, to reduce and eliminate a lot of the different investments that the Biden administration, some of the tax credits, subsidies put into place, a big part of it, the infrastructure law. But they're talking about eliminating $2 trillion from the budget. Is that even feasible?
You mean Musk and Ramaswamy are talking about eliminating? No, because the Republicans don't want to do it. I mean, is it feasible in the sense of could you do it and people wouldn't know it's gone? Yes. But this is about handing out favors to preferred people. Let's bring it back here locally, shall we? The power of lobbying. And then whatever I'm about to tell you, multiply this by 100 or 1,000 in Washington, D.C. The head of the Republican Party in this state, the top guy, quit to go back to being a rank-and-file lobbyist. That's how powerful lobbying is. This is in the state of Indiana, a small state. We are infinitely small potatoes compared to something like Washington, D.C. and the federal government. That tells you how powerful and how strong, how big the stranglehold lobbying and lobbyists and the donors are on these politicians, if even in a small state like Indiana, being a rank-and-file lobbyist is more beneficial, more powerful, more influential than being the head of a state party.
So the congressman from Tennessee, Tim Burchett, he said that the key to Doge working was the people that were in the room talking with Elon and Vivek. It's going to be up to the lawmakers if they're going to go along. Fetterman said that this should be a no-brainer. Who doesn't want to cut inefficiencies?
His party.
Right.
They've created a
Right,
whole
he's
bunch
going
of them.
against what they're all have been doing.
And again, I come back to let's bring it back home. This is what our show does better than anybody else. In the last decade, not in the 2000s, Mitch Daniels commissioned the Kern and Shepard report, which was a bipartisan report done by both Democrats and Republicans. Former Governor Joe Kernan worked with a Democrat, worked with Republican former Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, Randy Shepard. And they came up with a list of common sense local government reforms designed to reduce inefficiencies and cost in local government. Again, Democrats and Republicans don't agree on anything. They found these things to say universally this will make our local governments better and more effective and more efficient. That thing never saw the light of day. And in fact, at a state convention a few years later, the delegates punished a guy who was being, I believe this was the Attorney General's race. Mitch Daniels had a candidate for Attorney General he was supporting, and the local government people at convention turned out and voted. I think that was when Greg Zeller got elected Attorney General, for Greg Zeller, because they were that angry that Mitch Daniels had proposed common sense reforms. Why? Because the township trustees were going to be impacted by this and putting themselves over putting the state of Indiana. And where are we at now? Look at all these years later. We're back with the same argument with the property taxes, where next year the battle's going to be Mike Braun trying to help you, Mike Braun trying to lower your property taxes, and the local government people who all those years, 15 plus years later, it's still the local government people are going to hoot and holler and scream and screech over any sort of reform that might hold them accountable. And so then magnify that to Washington, D.C., and it's easy to go, well, everybody wants things cut except for your thing. And if nobody's willing to give their thing, then nothing's ever going to get cut.
So Mike Johnson, Speaker of the House, he's on board with DOGE, even though he was okay with $100 billion going to Ukraine, $1 billion to Africa, border being wide open. So why didn't he say anything years ago? It sounds very opportunistic and just
I think people
BS on his part.
I think people have unreasonable expectations given what the Republican Party is and their track record of governance. I just think people think Trump's going to get in there with a magic wand. Again, there are some areas where through executive action he'll be able to make it better. I think the border and I think the foreign policy will get better. But if you're thinking that Republicans being in charge is going to across the board, I mean, look at the argument that they're at right now is over Trump's tax cuts. And there's no pay for. They want to extend Trump's tax cuts, which is fine. But the argument now is how do we pay for it? And the Republicans are right back to we don't. It's going to add another $4 trillion to the deficit. Well, too bad. We got to get the Trump tax cuts. And there's a handful of Republicans that are waving their hands going, we need to cut to pay for these taxes. Nope. We got it's not going to change. It's too big. The monster is too big. And when you threaten the monster, look at what they try to do. They try to kill Trump. How many times? Like one person cannot do it. The parties are invested in special interest. And so you're going to get some nominal, some of them may actually end up being meaningful. I mean, I think the border and things like that. But by and large, these people are not on your side. They're on their own side.
Well, how about the Biden administration just securing with contracts 42,000 federal employees, like with contracts until, 2028? They're guaranteed employment. And even if their position is eliminated, they'll burrow into some other job. 6% federal employees work in the office full time. Only 6%.
And how many times have you heard this from the Republicans? So I'm going to think in my lifetime. Let's see. It was Bush won the presidency. We'll fix it. They didn't. Now Bush needs the Senate in 2002 because they're a holdup. They got that. They didn't. Now we got to reelect Bush to fix it. They didn't. They lost the House in 2006, and then they lost everything in 2008, and then elect us in 2010. We'll fix it. They didn't. Oh, we needed the Senate to fix it. They got that in 2014. They didn't. Oh, we needed the presidency in 2016. We'll fix it. They didn't. How many years do we have to go through the same thing over and over and over and over and over again?
Well, the government does spend about $16 billion annually to operate some government office buildings that only have an occupancy rate of 12%. Some of these buildings in Washington, D.C. are so empty that stagnant water is leading to bacteria growth in the pipes because nobody's there turning on the faucet ever.
Hey, can we continue this conversation when we come back? Because you were telling me there was a story out about the amount of federal workers who are still not at work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can we talk about that when we come back?
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
I remember our very first WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army. We raised $5,000.
The 30th anniversary WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army, presented by Financial Center.
Your donation is so important.
Since 1994, your generosity has helped raise millions of dollars that stay here in Central Indiana. Join us December 13th and 14th, doing the most good. The Salvation Army of Central Indiana, Financial Center at 93 WIBC.
This Christmas, as you're picking out gifts for loved ones, take a moment to think about the future gift you can give yourself. The gift of a secure retirement. Howard Bailey Financial is here to help you unwrap the possibilities of peace and confidence. With our free retirement toolkit, you'll get practical steps and insights to plan for the years ahead. From saving strategies to planning tips, this toolkit is like a financial compass for your future. And best of all, it's completely free to download. Don't wait until next year to start planning. Text GIFT to 888-262-1104. Download your free retirement toolkit and give yourself the gift of financial confidence this holiday season. That's GIFT to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Howard Bailey Security, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hammer and Nigel here for Window Nation. I was so sick and tired of my old windows during the winter. There was condensation, there were chilly drafts coming from my old windows. Once I got new Window Nation windows installed, that all ended. And now during Window Nation's year-end sale, you can get 50% off all style of windows with a bonus 10% off.
Make 2025 the year you take care of your house. And that starts by calling Window Nation, 866-90-NATION, or visit windownation.com. Hurry, the sale ends December 31st.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline nasal spray?
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and this holiday season, you gotta visit Miss Mary's gift shop at Sundown Gardens for great holiday gifts and decor. Now's a great time to stock up on all things holiday, and the greenhouse still has all your live greenery needs. Come shop for fresh-cut trees, wreaths, garland, and porch pots. Sundown Gardens wants to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Sundown Gardens, located at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com. That's sundown.gardens.com.
See Pierce Jewelers' breathtaking selection of lab-grown diamonds, refined to perfection and value. It's the new choice in diamonds. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
A Senate investigation revealed that government buildings are only 12% occupied, and the government spends $16 billion annually to operate them. EPA office water supply was left stagnant. Nobody's there turning on the faucet. Bacteria has grown, and nobody's there.
Hey, real quick before we get into this, it appears the jury is announced itself unable to reach a verdict in that Daniel Penny case. So looks like they are a hung jury on this manslaughter charge. Fox News is now reporting this. So it had gone on for several days. It's kind of what we thought with the Richard Allen trial when that jury went as long as they did. And, you know, obviously once it starts going on several days, you get people trying to wear each other down. And you and I were talking about this morning, that it's like, what is going on here? And so it appears now they have notified the judge that they are unable to reach a verdict in the. Now, of course, I know most people know, but Daniel Penny was this American patriot who had served his country faithfully in the U.S. military and was on a subway minding his own business in New York. A man was being very aggressive.
Well, he was yelling, "Somebody's going to die today."
Right, with patrons on the subway. Daniel Penny volunteered, jumped into action, restrained the man. The man started fighting with him. Penny put him in basically a chokehold to try to restrain him, and the man ultimately passed away.
Penny's attorney said that there's no proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the chokehold is what caused his death.
And it's just a shame that it's in New York, because anywhere else, not anywhere else, other liberal bastions, he would have had a hard time. But many places he would have been told, go home and thank you for your service to your country. This guy was a complete nut job. He was acting totally erratic. He was you see the video, the passengers are supporting him in the videos that have released this, because this guy was threatening other people on the subway and was believed to be an immediate harm to people around him.
So he could have faced up to 15 years in prison if he was convicted on the manslaughter charge, but now it's saying manslaughter charge deadlock stalls Penny verdict.
So we'll keep you up to date as we get more information on that, but wanted to keep it. I didn't mean to cut you off there, Casey, but I wanted to make sure that our audience knew about that verdict or lack thereof has come in.
Yeah. You know what? I want to talk about Donald Trump for a second. Can we switch gears and talk about him?
Well, wait a second. We got to mention how few people are coming to work.
Okay.
That's where you were going, right?
Yeah, it is where I was going.
So there is a pathetically low amount of federal workers who are showing up to work 5 days a week.
Oh, yeah. Only 6% are showing up 5 days a week. 6%. 1/3 are fully remote. Some of them, they're actually not even doing their jobs while they're teleworking. Did you see the picture of the guy who was in the bubble bath?
No.
Grown man in a bubble bath. He took a picture. It's kind of like his feet dangling off the bathtub with bubbles.
It's like when Kevin leaves here.
Right. And his computer is off to the side, and he says, I'm, air quote, working from home today.
So, look, and I'm not disputing that there are some people who their job being remote could totally be a valid thing if you're in some sort of IT profession or, whatever, or partially remote, a couple days a week or whatever. I'm not disputing any of that. But that means 94% of the workforce is not showing up to work 5 days a week?
Yeah, 90% of HUD employees work from home. They don't ever go in. And you know what? If you get the job done, that's not the argument. The argument here is that you're most likely not working your full hours. You're taking all sorts of breaks. Nobody's checking on you. Is there, progress reports about how much work is getting done? But there's also the fact that all of these government buildings, that requires a lot of money and maintenance.
Well, sure.
To keep them in shape.
Well, this is the conversation that we've had many times, which is, and there's a broader impact to this. Let's first of all say the idea, the private sector has people who are working remote. I guarantee you those people are held to account by their employers. Why? Because the private sector has to make money. My wife is a good example of this. She works in cybersecurity. She works in IT. She works a certain amount of her time. Doesn't have to be in the office. There's a certain amount of time she has to be in the office. Every day she has tasks that are tracked. And in a major company like she works for, the bottom line really matters, right? You ain't producing, you're out of there. The federal government is not doing this, right? The federal government is not monitoring these. Look at how inefficiently see when we talk about Doge, right? And Ramaswamy and Elon Musk. You're going to tell me in a place where 94% of the people aren't consistently showing up to work in person that they're all working very effectively? And this all started during COVID, by the way, anyway. Why aren't these people back at work?
Okay, so during COVID, they had 3% of the federal employees showing up. Now they only have 6%. So they're acting like it's still 2020.
Right. Yeah. I've told this story. My wife worked in the government for a very brief period of time, and she worked during COVID, and she would go into work, even though they said, no, you don't have to come in, and she would just be there by herself. And she would beg them for things to do, and she would give them ideas of things that she could be doing, and she would say, these are things we need to be doing, and they would just give her basically they're there, child. Yes, we'll get to that eventually.
Don't rush
and she's
us.
like, these are like, we're working for the taxpayers. Why is everybody not working? What are we doing? And she would be sometimes the only person in her office, and she would just, it was like Milton in Office Space. She would just sit there. And that's the state level, right? This is ridiculous that these people are not at work.
You want to talk about inefficiencies? How about just empty government buildings. They're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And nobody's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Donald Trump is going to participate in his first network interview since the election. He's going to be on NBC Sunday morning. Meet the press.
Oh, no.
It's also being reported by Politico that he's going to attend the Army-Navy game next week.
I like that.
Yeah. Can you imagine that, seeing those cadets and those midshipmen? They love
that's
him.
next week, correct?
Mhm.
They typically do the Army-Navy game. Now it's going to be all different now because of the way the college football playoff has started. But that is typically the game in between the week where the big games start. It's sort of the bridge. Everybody gets a week off. That's the way it'll be happening this week with the conference championships this week. And so the Army-Navy game is usually the bridge in between, because the nation then can kind of focus and pay tribute to the armed service members in the or future armed service members in the Navy and the Army.
So another thing that Donald Trump did is he nominated Billy Long, who's a former auctioneer, to be the commissioner of the IRS.
Oh, I bet Laura Loomer is having a conniption fit over this because, of course, and we used to have Laura on our show quite a bit, and she took a different path.
Yes, she did.
God bless her.
Mhm.
But we used to have Laura on quite a bit. But in her period of different path taking, she got up and caused some sort of disruption in a congressional hearing, like Laura is very good at, causing disruptions. And he started doing the auctioneer thing to take her. She couldn't disrupt the hearing.
Well,
so I bet she's livid that Trump appointed this guy.
Here he is. Here's Long making a joke about the national debt.
So one other thing, being an auctioneer in Congress, the way our debt is running out of control, they find it very handy to have Jeff Duncan and myself here in Washington. We are one of the few people that can actually keep up with the national debt. I'm but $1 trillion, $2 trillion now, $3 $3 trillion now, $4 trillion, $5 trillion, $6 trillion, $7 trillion, $8 trillion, $9 $10 $11 trillion down here, $12 trillion, $13. You're out of here, $13 trillion, $14 trillion now, $15. I have sold it $14 trillion. Thankfully, Mr. Speaker, we also can say those numbers backwards. So when we get the spending under control here, I'll be back.
What did he say? 14 trillion was the national debt. What are we at now? That was an old clip, huh?
Yeah, that was really old. Let's see.
It's a little higher now.
Let's take a break, and I'll tell you when we come back the last time the national debt was $14 trillion.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
More people appear to be getting jobs. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. The monthly jobs report shows payrolls increased more than expected in November. The Labor Department reported 227,000 jobs were created last month compared to October's upwardly revised 36,000. Still, the unemployment rate overall edged higher to 4.2% as expected. 4 people shot at a laundromat overnight. Jake McDaniel reports.
The shooting happened Thursday evening near South Street in Lafayette, where police arrived at around 7 o'clock. Authorities say the shooter was among those injured. 1 man was pronounced dead at the scene, and 3 were taken to the hospital. 1 is in critical condition at a hospital in Indianapolis. Authorities are looking back at surveillance video to figure out where the shooter ran off. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com. and grow your hair back today.
Your business needs a network it can count on.
Power's out.
Comcast Business has you covered with Wi-Fi backup to help keep your business up and running, even when your power goes out.
Everybody in the warehouse good?
Lights are out, but the Wi-Fi's up. Let's power on.
It's from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Break room, you good?
Can't microwave my burrito, but Wi-Fi's fine. Let's power on.
Power on with the leader in connectivity, Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Learn how to get Comcast Business Internet, Security Edge, and Wi-Fi backup for $59 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement when you add Comcast Business Mobile Unlimited. Plus, for a limited time, find out how to get an $800 holiday bonus prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Don't wait. Call or go online to ComcastBusiness.com today. Ends 12/15/24. Restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabit per second internet, Security Edge, and Connection Pro. EcoBill and auto pay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra and subject to change.
You okay?
Sorry, I can't sleep with this cough.
Sounds like you need to vaporize that cold.
Vaporize?
Yeah, with NyQuil VapoCool. It's NyQuil plus a rush of Vicks vapors.
Whoa.
So you ready to get some sleep? Thank you, NyQuil VapoCool.
NyQuil VapoCool, the vaporizing nighttime coughing, aching, fever, best sleep with a cold medicine. And to vaporize sore throat pain, try Vicks VapoCool drops. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
At Diamonds Direct, we have the perfect gifts for the season, starting at around $500. Come and let our experts help you pick out that headliner gift. Or for some fabulous ideas, see the online seasonal gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. You can even chat now with a virtual assistant. We've got special financing, so you can spread out your payments. Get directions, details, special showroom hours, and our holiday gift guide now at DiamondsDirect.com. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
From sugar cookie crumbs in the kitchen to pine needles under the tree, count on Steel for Christmas cleanup made easy with the SEA20 battery-powered handheld vacuum. Now just $99.99. Power up the holiday and give a gift from the top of their wish list. Visit your local Steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Was $159.99 MSRP. Includes battery and charger. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Celebrate the holidays with your Indiana Pacers this Sunday when the Pacers take on the Hornets.
And here's Halliburton with a 3 to start the game.
It's the Pacers holiday game featuring family fun concourse activities, including reindeer and a special visit from Santa Claus.
Out to Walker. He's hit a couple of threes. Out it again!
Join in on the festivities and bring some holiday cheer for the blue and gold this Sunday. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Hornets, Sunday at 5.
Visa offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Come in to Exercise Inc. for a free consultation in the month of December and get 2 free sessions. Exercise Inc. 5 locations. Visit exerciseinc.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
So last segment, we were talking about how Donald Trump has nominated Billy Long. He's a former auctioneer to be the commissioner of the IRS. And at one point during Congress, he did his auctioneering skills, and he was doing the calling on the national debt, and he got up to $14 billion.
Trillion.
Trillion, right.
Yes.
And I said, well, that must have been old because we're
35.
much higher. 36.
36. Yeah. What's a trillion amongst friends?
Well, yeah.
So it said, I bet that was not all that long ago by comparison. And so I went to the chart. There's many places.
The U.S.
you can find
debt
this,
clock.
where you can find the debt by year.
Mm-hmm.
And what was his number? It was 14
trillion, right?
So as of September 30th, 2011, the national debt was $14.790 trillion. So that was only, I mean, you think about it, you're like, oh, that was probably decades ago. That was 13 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
In 13 years, our national debt has gone up $21 trillion.
Yeah. Well, and think about this. Who's been in office for the majority of that time?
Well, it's been 7 years of Democrats and 4 years of Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a bipartisan thing. But, I mean, you look at, take, for example, in 1990, the national debt was $3 trillion. So if you're a 34-year-old man or woman, the national debt has gone up 12 times in your lifetime. It is 12 times greater than when your lifetime started. And when you look at this on one of these graphs, you really see how the explosion started in, I mean, it really was under George W. Bush. It was what was it? It was 5.6 trillion in the year 2000. So really, you think about it, I mean, not that that's okay, but you added about $2.5 trillion over a 10-year span from 1990 to 2000. $2.5 trillion. Not great, but when you think about between the year 2000 at 5.6 trillion and the year 2010, you were at 13.5 trillion. That's 8 trillion. So you went from basically 4 times the amount. And then if you go from 13.5 trillion to 26 trillion, which it was in 2020, that's 13 trillion. I mean, it's completely out of control. These people are disgusting, and they keep operating with the same. I mean, heck, Casey, it's gone up 10 trillion in 4 years.
Yeah. Well, it's going up right now in front of my eyes.
Yes, on the debt clock.
36,199,100,000. Oh, it just flipped over. It's like watching a speedometer, when you're driving down the road. So what is that per person? I love the debt clock. It breaks it down. Debt per citizen, $106,000. Debt per taxpayer, $271,000.
And, when you talk about elections and the difference elections can make, you really do see that during the Clinton years of 1994, which was the election, the contract with America, where the Republicans came in, they ran on a core set of issues, primarily which was balancing the federal budget. If you look at them between 1994 and 1998, like, for example, it went up less than $1 trillion. In fact, 1999, it went up basically, so over a 5-6-year span up to 2000. So you look at a 6-year span, again, not that this is great, but it went up $1 trillion over 6 years. We're running that deficit.
Just on our interest.
Interest
on our debt is $1 trillion.
So when you run on things and things that matter and specific things, like the Republicans did in 1994, you can set a course. And remember, the economy was gangbusters the second part of Clinton's term, because when you're paying your bills and you're not printing money, inflation is low, people keep people employed. It all ties together. It's just discipline.
Hey, you're going to hang out with some guys this weekend.
Oh, what a party.
I want to hear all about it. Coming up from 93 WIBC.
We are the Hammer and Nigel Show. Joey Chestnut, he's going to come in studio. We're going to have a shrimp eating contest and also Beer Sample Friday. Nobody has more fun than we do. We'll talk to you at 3.
Those who don't have 20/20 vision usually do something about it. But many who can't breathe freely through their nose just live with it, not realizing they can have 20/20 breathing. At Advent, we're out to change that. With 20/20 breathing, you'll have fewer sinus infections, more energy, you'll sleep better, and you will live better. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. In 2006, Advent pioneered the balloon sinuplasty procedure. And since, thousands of our patients can tell you, this simple 20-minute in-office solution really works. Balloon sinuplasty can give you 20/20 breathing so you can breathe freely through both nostrils with your mouth closed day and night. And that can change your life.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Do you have an idea for a book? Fiction, nonfiction, or a children's book? We can help you put it together and bring it to market at Dorrance Publishing. We have thousands of testimonials from people just like you that we've helped get their books sold in stores and online. We've even got a service called The Writer's Coach. It's perfect for people that have a book idea in their head and they just need someone to help them put it on paper. Dorrance Book Publishing has been helping people just like you who have a book idea, written or not, for over 100 years. Imagine being counted among the most famous authors in the world with your very own book. Call right now and let us help you turn a book idea into reality. It's easier than you think. You just need a little help. Call us now.
800-879-4098. 800-879-4098.
800-879-4098. That's 800-879-4098.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
What does the joy of Christmas mean to you? A gift? Time with family? Decorations and traditions? At Shepherd Community, the joy of Christmas is learning to read, feeling safe and loved, finding a stable job, and having a community that cares. Shepherd gives its neighbors gifts of joy and hope for a brighter future. You can give the joy of Christmas to neighbors living in poverty, not just at the holidays, but all year long. Visit caringatchristmas.org/give. That's caringatchristmas.org/give.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life.
Stop by Sundown Gardens for all your live greenery this holiday season. Happy holidays from Sundown Gardens at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road, sundown.gardens.com.
Trans-Siberian Orchestra is making its way back to Gamebridge Fieldhouse on December 19th with an all-new show, The Lost Christmas Eve Tour. For tickets and more information, head to WIBC.com.
Casey, it's the weekend.
I know, it's very exciting. Big plans for you?
Gonna have a little get-together with Jim Merritt and Abdul and Klopfenstein.
Oh, that'll be fun.
It's our big...
Are you guys having a party?
Well, I don't know if it's a party.
Gentlemen's club?
I've never been to Jim Merritt's house.
Oh, that'll be exciting. I wonder what it looks like. Do you think it's wearing a tie?
Well, his wife is some sort of high-end real estate person.
Oh, I bet it's a nice piece of property.
Jim Merritt came out of the womb in a high-end suit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing them living in something that resembles Buckingham Palace.
Yes, I'm sure. It'll be fantastic. And all the hors d'oeuvres will be out. You'll have a charcuterie board. I'm guessing.
So that's my big event for the weekend is I'll be getting together with Jim Merritt and Abdul and Klopfenstein.
Mm-hmm. Send pictures, will you?
Oh, my goodness. It's just going to be
post something on the internet of you guys.
He so wanted to do this, and he's been at this forever, and it's like, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's your goal is to hang out with me and Klopfenstein and Abdul?
You're the life of the party. Everywhere you go, people want to talk to you.
So I'm going to do that. You know how I am about doing things, too. Like, I'll agree to do things, and then it comes time to do them.
And then you're like, oh, man.
Got to leave my house.
I know.
Gotta leave my... It's a big weekend, right? Like there's a lot going. There's a lot of football games going on.
There's a big one at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Are you going?
I think so. I think we'll pop over there.
$12.
$12 for tickets. And you know, I wasn't going to go last year when Michigan was playing.
Yeah.
So this is more of a neutral game for us. So I think to take in the experience, yeah, this is it. But you know, you're going to be out partying. I'm going to be getting my life together. Because
is your life not together?
Well, we've been on the road so much, traveling to the East Coast and checking on the kid and everything, that I need to do things like I got to put my Christmas tree up. I have done no Christmas shopping. I got to clean the house. I got to pay bills, things like that. Like, I've got to get my life in order.
Okay, so
it is going to take an entire weekend.
With your Christmas tree, because you live in a high rise. So Casey's house, it is a very small plot of land.
Yeah, that goes straight up.
It resembles, like, in terms of width, it's like a vegetable garden.
Yeah.
But in terms of size, it's like the Sears Tower.
Yeah, it just goes up.
It just
a lot
goes
of stairs.
Straight up.
I feel it every morning on my knees.
There's 2 floors where people would be able to view the Christmas tree from a window.
Actually 3, but yeah.
So how do you?
It'll be on the middle floor.
How do you decide where to put it? In the middle floor?
Yeah, in the middle floor.
This is the problem we had, because now that we have a toddler, we felt we couldn't put the Christmas tree in the living room because she would continually try to play with it.
Yeah.
So we put it in the kind of spare room that faces the street, which is great. So then the public at large can see my very fabulous Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Without it rivals the what's the not Times Square, but the
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller, yes, yeah. Thank you. But the problem is then I can't see it other than when I walk
by it,
past it.
Yeah.
So how big a tree are we talking about? Because you have 15-foot ceilings?
It's a little tree. Actually, I call it the Christmas bush.
It's a tiny tree.
It is. It's a tiny tree. But it's cutely decorated because it's just all of the homemade ornaments now, or the things that our daughter made when she was young. Yeah. Ornaments from when the dude was young.
Things, oh, really?
Yeah. Memorial ornaments from my father's passing.
Oh, wow.
Sentimental things are on the tree. And I kind of like it that way. It could have a few more bulbs on it here and there, but it's okay. I like it.
Yeah, that's great. Have you ever pondered, like, getting a real size tree again? Because you are events and spectacle people, and so I'm shocked you don't have a big Christmas tree.
We used to. We were like Susan Beckwith. We had multiple trees.
Oh, you did? You were a multiple
we
tree
did.
person.
We did. But when the lights start going out, and how many cartons of things do you bring up from the basement?
A lot of work.
And it is a lot of work. And it's just for us. So I'm good with the little tree. It stows away nicely in a closet. It's not a big hassle to decorate every year. I mean, I do enjoy the Christmas decorations. I just don't want to put the effort into it anymore.
Your husband strikes me as someone who would also not want to put the effort into that.
Well, like I said, I don't want to put in the effort. I mean, I was the wreaths on every door, lights in the window, candles in the window,
At what point did you
banister.
Stop caring?
At what point?
What point did you? Because there has to be a point where if you're doing it,
when I realized I was the only one truly appreciating it.
Right? Because your daughter had reached an age where,
when she went off to college, it was kind of like, okay, it's time to downsize some of this stuff, and that's what we did.
Now you have gone through a life event. I think we've covered this here, where your daughter moved to Baltimore for a year.
Yeah,
her and her friend got a place together. Her friend got some big muckety-muck position somewhere, right?
Well, her friend is finishing up medical school at Johns Hopkins University. So they're roomies right now while she's on her last year of medical school.
Okay, so 2 questions. I always tried to surround myself with people that had underachieved what I had achieved. That way I was always the cool, which, I mean, look at how low bar that was, right? It gives you the sort of people that I hung out with.
Yeah.
But is your daughter, like, no matter what she does, her friend is the medical school person at Johns Hopkins, right?
She's really smart.
I mean, really, like,
really smart.
You could be one of the upper, 99.5% of society, and you're not going to pass that person.
Right. I know. I mean, you think about that. Emily has the degree from Purdue University in biology.
That's great.
STEM all through high school.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, good grades. 2-sport varsity athlete.
Correct.
She was amazing. And she's still, she's just as good as her roommate, but wow, medical degree from Johns Hopkins, whatever. And
how does she handle
this
that?
This girl's second degree. Very well, because she's a really, really nice person.
Yeah.
And she's a great roommate for our daughter.
Yeah.
And they're going to be celebrating, Hanukkah and Christmas begin on the same day this year.
Really?
I believe Hanukkah begins on Christmas Eve. So they're going to have a menorah and a little tree, and they're going to do it up at their place. Our daughter will come home, and she'll have her Christmas bush shrub at our place.
She is coming home to your house at some point.
Yeah, she's going to fly home like I demanded. I said, this time you're coming to us.
Now, have you given, this is a parenting question, have you given your daughter like any sort of, okay, you've got until X day date to decide what you're doing with your life? Because you kind of have run this really on the fly in terms of you're living out there, but you're not permanently living out there, or you may be permanently living out there and we'll go see you. At some point, you have to get some sort of finality, right, of here's what we're doing,
What
so
are you
everybody
doing
can begin
with
to
your
plan
life?
their lives. Right?
I think she wants to remain an East Coaster.
Really?
Not necessarily in Baltimore, but within that region.
Really?
Yeah. So that means
Why? Her whole life has been here.
Yeah, exactly. Her whole life has been here.
Or are we not good enough for her anymore?
Well, no, she's got that adventurous spirit, Rob, like I do, where she wants to go out and see and do things.
Well, then
I think it's comforting to her knowing that we're here, so she can always come back home again to Indiana.
I see. Now, you've had to have this conversation with her, though. At some point, your adventurous spirit will have to be paid for by yourself.
Yes, completely.
Soon.
One of these days.
I admire your spirit. However, I don't admire what it's doing to my wallet.
It's really fun to be adventurous, isn't it? But you're going to have to work 9 to 5 or something eventually one of these days.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck at the ball game on Saturday. I'll look for you on TV.
Good luck at the party.
Oh, you have to text me where your seats are so I can try to see you as one of those little dots.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And you'll have to text me so I can see Jim Merritt in a tie.
Like you mean every other time?
Yeah,
when he works?
exactly.
I do wonder, in a handful of times, I've known Jim Merritt 8 years now. I think I can count on maybe two hands the amount of time.
He wasn't wearing a jacket?
One time,
a sport coat?
did see him at the Vogue for a yacht rock concert, and it was he was in a captain's hat.
Was he
He was
really?
He was dressed for the part. The Naughty Yachties, our old pal Troy Kennett, who plays keys for Mellencamp, was in that.
Yeah.
I don't even know if those guys are still together or not anymore, but Troy on the side was playing for this yacht rock group, and they were playing at the Vogue, and I went to see him, and there was Merritt, and he was dressed like in shorts, and he had a captain's hat on. It was like, who? I didn't even know he was going to be there.
I assume
said, who are you?
I assume that Kloppensteinstein will bring beer for everyone.
Probably several.
And I don't even want to say what Abdul will bring for everyone.
Yeah. Won't be for me, Casey.
Okay. All right. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Kevin. And thank you for listening. This has been Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-444